Is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville, your home for the Blitz with Jason and Joe on YouTube and always at sasportstar.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Twice as nice for Rory at Augusta as McIlroy does it again, winning at Augusta, becoming the fourth player ever to go back-to-back there and the first since Tiger Woods back in 01 and 02. The Spurs would fall in their regular season finale 128-118 to the Nuggets. They'll end up facing the winner of the 7-8 matchup in the play-in between Portland and Phoenix. That game takes place tomorrow night at 9.
Sports Center brought to you by SAPDcareers.com. The San Antonio Police Department is always hiring.
Joe Reinagel.
And for the third time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The NBA regular season officially over. Now we get ready for the playoffs. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Jason Minix. Joe Reinagel has the day off. He'll be back tomorrow. Unlike Rob Thompson, this was a scheduled day off for Joe. So what Rob missed this morning, he broke a tooth yesterday on popcorn? Is that true, or was that something that AJ just made up this morning?
It could have gone either way, but
All right.
when you think about things that Rob Thompson may have done, that's pretty high on the list.
It's right up there. I mean, the guy eats popcorn, I think, every day. Or just about every day. Nothing worse than breaking a tooth. We've all been there. We've all had that happen. It sucks. It sucks. You know, I thought about calling in sick today. I don't know, what is it, allergies or what's going on? I was at a wedding on Saturday night. Outdoors out near Canyon Lake. It wasn't feeling good. It was just, you know, you could tell when it's allergies. So we kind of bolted the wedding early, a little dine and dash, if you will. And it was delayed because, well, it was an outdoor wedding and it rained. Yesterday I felt all right. This morning I felt like crap. Drugs are a wonderful thing. But I can't decide, am I catching a cold or if it's just allergies? It's kind of one of those, I don't know, whatever's in the air kind of stuff. But I didn't call in sick. I'm here because, well, we have no bench. And I didn't know Rob was out. I couldn't have called Rob and said, hey, dude, you want to do a double? Joe's out. That's all right. I'll push through. It's me and Pledge the rest of the way. And of course, you, because there's so much to talk about on this Monday. You heard Pledge in Sports Center. Rory goes back-to-back. We'll talk a lot of Masters today. The great thing about not feeling great yesterday is you're in the recliner all day just watching TV, and the drama that went with the Masters, which quite frankly, the way Rory played Thursday and Friday, we wondered if we were going to get that kind of drama on Masters Sunday. Augusta never fails. We'll talk about a lot about that, but it's really about the San Antonio Spurs and what they've done. The playoffs are here. I don't give a damn that they lost last night. In fact, I know some people on Twitter little upset that the San Antonio Spurs got punked last night by the Denver Nuggets. You know, they finished the season 30-4 since February 1st. 0-3 against Denver, 30-1 against everybody else. Then you listen to Mitch Johnson last night after the game. Yeah, they weren't chasing a victory last night.
I mean, definitely was, you know, Steph's first game back. And, yeah, everybody's just being down a couple bodies. We weren't going to play anybody 40 minutes. We weren't going to chase a game in terms of trying to overplay guys. So just try to play to the best of our abilities in different combinations and whatnot.
You know, and you hear that. Obviously, Wemby didn't play last night. But there was incentive for the Spurs to go win that game. And that was, had they beaten Denver, or the Lakers weren't going to lose to Utah, that would have put the Lakers at the 3rd seed and Denver in the 4th. Spurs say they don't give a damn. I appreciate that. You know, the way the Spurs handled their business last night, they're saying they're not afraid of anybody. I mean, you look at the bracket, and you go back to something The Athletic wrote months ago, the coveted 3rd seed in the Western Conference. Little disrespectful to San Antonio, maybe, but showing a lot of respect to the defending NBA champion Oklahoma City Thunder. The Spurs now, after they get by the first round, will have to play likely Denver in the second round and then Oklahoma City. Had they tried last night and beaten Denver, then you only get one of those teams in the Western Conference Finals if you get there. Tells me the Spurs don't give a damn. They are not afraid of anybody. And I appreciate that coming from a team that is lacking in playoff experience. And that's going to be the narrative for this Spurs team as you head into the playoffs. But I like the fact that they could have tried a little bit harder. And they said, it is what it is. I mean, with the Lakers and their injuries, there's no guarantee they get out of the first round. So maybe you're looking at the Rockets in round 2 as opposed to Denver. Is that easier? Sure, maybe. But I like the fact that the Spurs say they don't give a damn. Bring it on. I like that attitude heading into the playoffs for the San Antonio Spurs. I know you always everybody's looking for the easiest route and all that. Mitch Johnson says he does not give a damn. And last night kind of proved it. In a weird final day of the NBA where it felt like all the stars were sitting out, it really made it kind of tough to gauge. I know, Joker played because he had to, so he can qualify for the postseason awards, which brings up an entirely different discussion. When they put the rule in, I'm a fan of it. I like there being some sort of minimum. But watching guys like Wemby on Friday or Joker yesterday playing in a game that doesn't mean anything just to qualify for the minimum, it loses a little something, right? And then you get all the debate, should it be games played or minutes played? That's our poll question today on the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. Because I do think with all the discussion this year, kind of like the tanking argument, there will be some sort of tweak made to the rule. Should NBA awards be about games played or minutes played? And I will tell you this, I'm still in favor of games played. I mean, if you play a whole bunch of minutes in 50 games versus playing in 65 games, what would you rather have? If you're the NBA, what would you rather have? The idea of the rule is for star players to play in as many games as possible. Not as number of minutes played, but could there be some sort of sliding scale that once you hit this threshold, if you're at, say, 60 games, but your minutes are at X, then you're qualified so you don't get the stupid stuff like we've had over the last couple of days with Wemby playing in a game that, quite frankly, watching him play it, I was nervous the entire night. And there were a couple of times, and it's like, all right, you're qualified, go sit down. Well, he's not sitting down. Well, don't turn an ankle now. I mean, you've got this mental tug of war going on just so he can qualify to win a Defensive Player of the Year trophy, which I want him to get. Go win all the awards in the financial aspect of it. And I saw Tyrese Halliburton on with McAfee earlier today talking about the financial aspect of it. It's to encourage star players to play. But when you're hurt, you're hurt. There's a difference between injured and guys that are sitting out for rest. And then you get things like Joel Embiid or Kawhi Leonard and that Anthony Davis, that where they're always hurt. Well, I got to trust that the voters aren't going to vote those guys for some of these awards because they don't play enough. And no matter what you do with a hard, fast rule, whether it's games played or minutes, there's always going to be somebody just on the wrong side of that line. And the debate's going to go. But this year, it seems like there were so many that you figure there's going to be a tweak some way. So now the argument has shifted. Should it be more about minutes played versus games played? And to me, it's about games. I think to Adam Silver, it's about games played. And I promise you, for his network TV partners that are paying billions of dollars, they would rather have 65 games at 25 minutes than 50 games at 35 minutes. I'm not Wemby. I can't do that math in my head, but I'm going to guess that's kind of close. What would you guys rather have? That's our poll question today. They're on the YouTube page. Go to YouTube, search out San Antonio Sports Star, and you can find it. You can also get me on Twitter at Jason Minix, or the old-fashioned way, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Spurs get a full week off. They play Sunday night, 8 p.m., Game 1, against the winner of tomorrow night's Phoenix-Portland play-in game. Cannot wait. Now you have all the different things out about who's going to win, who's not. The Athletic in their anonymous player poll. Oklahoma City gets a 50% chance, voted 50% by the players, of winning it all. San Antonio was second at 25.3. ESPN odds today to make the finals. Oklahoma City, 61.9%. San Antonio, 30.7%. Denver at just 4%. It certainly feels like it is a two-team race in the Western Conference to get to the NBA Finals. So it does feel a lot like the players and the national media are saying, you know, you got to have some playoff battle scars before you can go win a title. That's tradition. But I think everybody's looking at this team and the way they have outperformed expectation this year and saying, the hell with that. Look at Wemby. Look at De'Aaron Fox. Look at Steph Castle. Look at Devin Vassell. Look at Julian Champagnie. Look at this team and tell me who's going to beat them 4 times. Pretty remarkable when you look back and you think about what this team has done all season long. It's going to be a lot of fun. Lots and lots of NBA talk here on the Blitz today on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Yesterday, Master Sunday, spectacular. Let's talk about Rory going back-to-back when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Hey golfers, you could win a set of custom golf clubs from Flight by Yingling. Thank you to everyone who played in the sold-out 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Tournament presented by Flight by Yingling. Now, imagine hitting the course with a set of custom clubs valued at $2,800 with a cold flight, 2.6 carbs, and 95 calories. Enter now at yingling.com/golf. No purchase necessary. Must be 21 or older. Flight by Yingling. Enjoy responsibly. DG Yingling & Sons, Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
We heard Wednesday is the worst day of the week, so we made Whopper Wednesday at Burger King. Flame grilled beef, crisp produce on a perfectly toasted bun, every detail stacked just right, all for only $3.99. Whether it's been weeks or years, get yourself a taste of that unmistakable flame grilled flavor on Whopper Wednesday for just $3.99. Or make it a small combo for only $6.99. Consider Wednesday fixed, because you rule. Wednesdays in April only at participating U.S. restaurants. Prices vary. Tax extra. Must ask for offer or apply before checkout. Terms apply. BK.com/terms.
Another app for inventory, one for CRM. Oh, don't forget accounting. Wait, which login was that?
Or you could use Odoo, one fully integrated system that does it all without the hassle. Ditch the app overload. Get everything your business needs on one platform. Try Odoo free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Coming up on the Morning Huddle, Portland and Phoenix. Who are the Spurs going to get in round 1? We'll find that out tomorrow, and we'll know the saga of Rob's corn tooth. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hello, friends. Boy, the Masters delivered yesterday, didn't it? Spectacular. Rory goes back-to-back. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Joe Reinagel has the day off. I'm Jason Minix. Joe will be back tomorrow. In fact, the Blitz tomorrow will be live at NAW, Northwest Automotive Warehouse there on Calabria Road. It's Fiesta time. Of course, they're right down there near St. Mary's, Oyster Bake. And they've got some things going on down there for Fiesta at NAW. You need some bed covers. You want to save some money. Come see us tomorrow all week. It's going to be a fun time. Always is over there with the crew at Northwest Automotive Warehouse, NAW, there on Calabria Road. I'm told we're going to have, SeaWorld tickets, T-shirts to give away? Get everything but a Fiesta medal because we don't do those. Not this year anyway. Not being a big Fiesta medal type, I'm good with that. Just saying. I can't hear you, Pledge. You're speaking through
I'd rather have T-shirts.
You'd rather have a T-shirt? I'm with you. I might have a Fiesta medal from last year on my bag. Might. Went in the bag when it was given to me and hasn't come out since. Maybe. Maybe I'll have one.
Maybe.
Vintage. Maybe. Rory was Rory over the weekend. Thursday, Friday, you wondered, is this just going to be a runaway? Because he was playing so relaxed. Now, we were in a bit of a pool. I had Scotty Scheffler as my top guy. And, boy, if he would have had a better Thursday, he probably would have won that thing. If he would have birdied on, 17, we would have at least had a playoff. But I'll tell you, and I'm glad I wasn't the only one. I'm not the biggest golf expert guy. That's Joe Reinagle. That's James Pledger. I enjoy golf. And I enjoy dramatic television. In CBS, what the hell was going on with them yesterday and some of their camera angles? Did they have some interns running the show? I'm glad they're getting ripped for their coverage because I was wondering what's going on, right? I mean, to not be able to see Rory's shot, they couldn't find the ball, and then his putt, what angle was that? They got 1,000 cameras out there, and they miss everything? CBS getting hammered, as they rightfully should, but it doesn't take away from the story and the beauty that goes along with the Masters. And, of course, for Rory, going back-to-back.
I thought it was so difficult to win last year because of trying to win the Masters and the Grand Slam. And then this year I realized it's just really difficult to win the Masters. I tried to convince myself it was both. But, yeah, just incredible. You know, I obviously did the bulk of my work on Thursday and Friday. And, you know, I don't think I would have believed anyone if they said to me, you know, all you have to do is shoot even par for the weekend and you'll win.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but he did. Although at least there was a lot of drama on Sunday. That's what I was afraid of. That we were going to show up and he was going to win this thing going away by 8-10 strokes and there's no drama. And there's something about Augusta National where they seem to keep that from happening. What, you know, just all of it. All of it is pretty spectacular, and granted, Rory, fair or not, knows that course very, very well. In fact, you know, he spent a lot of time over the last couple of weeks, you know, with that private jet life, just going up there to play around and then go pick up the kid from school.
I honestly just don't like the 3 tournaments leading up to this event. Yeah, I'd rather come up here. You know, I did a couple of days where I dropped Poppy to school, flew up here, played, landed back home and had dinner with her, or had dinner with Eric and Poppy. Like I did a couple of day trips like that where I felt like that was a better use of my time than going to Houston or San Antonio. So wasn't really about conserving energy, but I felt, you know, the more time I could spend up here, the better.
And I want to be mad at him, but I can't. I'm not, right? I mean, I know he's played the Valero Texas Open a couple of times the last couple of years. Better use of his time. Take the kid to school, get on your jet, fly to Augusta, play around, fly home, have dinner. It's not a bad day if you can do that. And clearly, he's not chasing a paycheck. He's not chasing points. The problem, when you are the week before the Masters, and when the Valero Texas Open moved to that date, they knew there would be a number of golfers that would skip that one so they could prepare for the Masters. All the guys, you know, like a Jordan Spieth, man, they're leaving Sunday and straight there. I mean, and again, transportation being what it is, they're able to do that. For Rory to skip Houston, skip San Antonio, not a fan of, I don't know if he's not a fan of the course, if he's a fan of the tournament time frame, but the focus is on the Masters. And that's totally understandable. I hope he comes back. He's done well here. But when I first heard that, I was like, well, U.S., I mean, but I get it. I get Tiger Woods doesn't like the Valero Texas Open. Dude hadn't played here in forever. And that's when it was at La Cantera. I don't know that he's ever actually been to TPC San Antonio, and if he has, you know, he did it privately. It certainly wasn't in the Valero Texas Open. But he's got the ability to do that. I think Rory he was there, but this green jacket puts him on another level. You know, the debate about greatest European player, sure, he's up there. If not the GOAT, he's right up there. greatest player of the generation. We have been waiting for somebody to take the baton from Tiger Woods in golf for a long time. Was it going to be Scheffler? Was it going to be Jordan Spieth? Is it Rory? For the last decade, and you look now, how many more majors can this guy stack? The British Open or the Open. Next year is at his home course, isn't it? There's going to be a lot of focus for him to go win that one. He's got the career Grand Slam, and just such a likable guy, right? He's got it all right now. He is golf. I don't know if we're at the point like we were with Tiger, is it Rory against the field, but it's pretty damn close. And I think it will be because you had a relaxed Rory. What I find interesting, and I know this is a small sample size, but RJ Ochoa puts together a golf pool. I don't know, Pledge, you weren't in it. Were you in it? All right. And he tiers golfers. Scotty Scheffler was in the same tier with Rory. Not one person, not one, had Rory because nobody thought you were going to go back-to-back. Of course, nobody goes back-to-back. It hadn't happened since, 2001 with Tiger. I mean, it's only the fourth time in history, so odds were against Rory going back-to-back, but it wasn't about picking winner. It was about picking score. Everybody went either Scheffler or somebody else in the group. The fact that not one person had Rory, I thought was pretty remarkable. But here he is, and now you wonder, is he at the point now where will it be Rory against the field, especially in majors when it comes up? Now, obviously, some majors, it's going to depend on the course and, how it plays, but his ability to go all Jordan Spieth at the end on Sunday, to hit a bad shot but somehow recover from it, and he didn't blow that lead, because that would have been the story today. Not what a charge by Scotty Scheffler. It would have been what a choke job by Rory had he not. Or when who's it, Rose, that had the lead there for a half minute. I mean, just all of that was there. That was the beauty of it. And for Scheffler to be that close with that birdie on 17 that could have forced a playoff, the way things ended. Just a fascinating day of golf. And then I saw a tweet that really got me to thinking. With all the money and all the stories written this week about the revenue that the Masters generates, just from merchandise alone, the ticket prices, just all of it, are the golfers underpaid? I mean, Rory won $4.5 million yesterday. The prize pool for the players is $25 million. Yet in 1 week, they make a couple $100 million. I mean, go find the articles about what the fan shop does. And that doesn't include the revenue that comes from the TV partnership that they have with CBS, which is one of the, if not, it is the longest running partnership in sport history. I mean, it's incredible what CBS continues to pay. And then, of course, they've added in some other deals. They make a gazillion dollars. And I want to say it was Dan Walken was like, these guys underpaid? That doesn't seem like enough of a split for the players on what the prize pool gets. Now, you would say you won $4.5 million. You should be happy. And I'm right. But in this world of NIL, in this world of, seeing the NBA salary cap and the NFL salary cap, and it's all a percentage, it doesn't seem like the $25 million prize pool for the players is that high of a percentage going out.
And they do that per day in revenue with merchandise? Wasn't it something ridiculous like that?
I could look it up real quick because I retweeted the article, but the fan shop, the average fan is spending well over $1,000, which is insane. Let me see if I can find that article. Hang on. This is great radio, Pledge.
I'm sorry.
$10 million a day, $1 million an hour, $16,000 a minute, $277 per second.
And that starts Monday.
They do $70 million in merchandise sales on average. According to this article, that is $25 million more in merchandise sales than the Atlanta Braves did all of last year. They do it in a week. And again, if you're fortunate enough to go to the Masters, you spend a lot of money in that gift shop. We all would. And the beauty is they know exactly what they're doing. They have FedEx and UPS right there. You take all your stuff and you put it in a box and it's home waiting for you. If you're curious, Matt Pittman from Meat Church, he's got a video of the damage he did in the Master store, $2,500. RJ didn't do that much. He told me that. But if you've noticed, RJ Ochoa the last couple of days on social media has got a different hat and different shirt in every one of his videos. You know, that little flex that, I was there. I got this shirt and I got that shirt. It's all there. And when you go, you're going to have friends. Hey, get me a hat. Get me a this. Get me a that. And then they got those, the craziest thing, the garden gnome.
I don't understand that.
Well, because the Masters limits them. See, they cost $60, but they only put so many out a day. So they become the hot coveted item. And you see them on eBay. I did go and look because I saw the story and thought this is BS. The amount of money they're going for on eBay just because it's such a rare collectible. And apparently there's a dude that looks just like the garden gnome and he dresses up as that year's garden gnome. It's nuts. But you create value out of something, you limit it, and you're printing gold. If you're able to get one. I mean, to imagine of all the things that they sell at the Masters, at Augusta National, a garden gnome, limit one per person. Are you kidding? A garden gnome.
I wouldn't even think to have bought a garden gnome.
So you would now. And again, it's the pressure buy. You don't want it. But if you see it there, you better get it because they only sell one. You can get one, and they got two different sizes. I mean, look at the Matt Pittman video. He's got two, the big one and the little one. Garden gnome. I wouldn't get one. Well, I would never have thought to buy one, but I would get one now if I saw it just because I'd have to have it.
Well,
FOMO.
Matt Pittman's going to make his money back on those garden gnomes.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can put it on eBay and pay for your entire damn trip.
Just imagine if Augusta was like to put like some kind of Airbnb around, because we all hear the story about how far out from Augusta you have to stay to get an Airbnb or a hotel or something. If they were to put exclusive cabins around it.
Well, I mean, they're Augusta National. My friend Joe Herring from Tri-County Meat Market, he was fortunate enough to go to the Masters a couple weeks ago. $1,800, he said, in the gift shop. And he didn't even get me a hat. Cheap son of a... So I look at the stories on Augusta National. One, they time spring break every year around there. So if you live there, you can get the hell out because you can put your house on Airbnb. And apparently there's a law to where that's tax-exempt revenue because it's for less than 14 days. So the houses in and around there, but they're all massive. So you have to have big groups. If you just need a hotel room, you're somewhere in South Carolina probably and driving. But it is such a money-making event, but it is just so special. And then, of course, you go in, you lose your phone, can't take your phone, can't wear your hat backwards, all these different rules, and yet people love it. It's what it's all about. And I think it's cool. Different for sure, but we'd all spend $1 gazillion in that gift shop. I mean, hats, shirts,
pullovers,
towels, hoodies,
balls,
you name it. Absolutely. Golf balls, all of it. However much, you don't even care. I mean, honestly, it's probably more so than the way we are in the Super Bowl fan shop. You know, and my goal there is to always find something with just the logo and no teams on it, because unless the Cowboys are in it, I don't want anything with some other logo on it, and that's a little bit harder. which keeps the price down. But then you also have your friends, get me a this, get me a that. So you order it online. Yeah, but it's different if it's coming from the actual Super Bowl city. If you say so. And then you get your bill.
What can you do?
You pay it and you go. You pay it and you go. That's what it's all about. The Spurs. Playoff time. Actual playoff time in the NBA. But the debate as we get ready for the NBA awards, games played, minutes played. What adjustment does the NBA need to make for their star players to qualify for postseason awards? Let's talk about that. Coming up here on The Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You know, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, best way to do that, call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text the word bail to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They're discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. So if you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between, license number 149, call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online at mybestbailbonds.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I am grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
All right, our Sports Star crew, listen up. If you want to keep winning in life like our San Antonio Spurs do on the court, head over to Game Day Men's Health. Cibolo Shirts or Alamo Ranch, the roster stacked with all-stars just like our Spurs. Experts trained in hormonal health, erectile dysfunction, weight loss, advanced peptide therapies. Why go to the G League when you can take your talents straight to the top, baby? Whether you're tired all the time, you've got low energy, maybe you've got some weight gain or the brain fog, maybe you need a little help in the bedroom. I'm not here to judge. They've got you covered. Their Hall of Fame team and services like testosterone replacement and peptide therapies will get you back in the game. Located in Alamo Ranch, or choose the Cibolo Shirts location on I-35 and 3009 across the highway from HEB. Call 830-376-9100 or visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com and book your appointment today. Win back your health, win back your life. It's game day. Let's go. That's 830-376-9100.
This is the story of the one.
As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Most of the time, La Playa sounds like this. For some, La Playa also sounds like this.
30, the 20, the 10.
But no matter what, this is our playa. Corona, La Playa awaits. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Got a buddy who thinks he knows baseball? Perfect. On Rangers game days, prove it with the Morning Huddle's Rangers Double Dinger Payday. Pick the Ranger you think will launch it out of here. He hits one, you and a friend are headed to a Rangers game. He hits two. Now, you've got tickets and hotel. Yeah, you're making a night of it, and your buddy's buying the first round. Wake up with the Morning Huddle. Call your shot and win the Morning Huddle's Rangers Double Dinger Payday. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the Texas Rangers.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Maybe you're watching on YouTube. You can always go to YouTube, search out San Antonio Sports Star, like and subscribe. I'm Jason Minix. Joe Reinagle has the day off. He'll be back tomorrow. The play-in for the NBA playoffs starts tomorrow night. All eyes in San Antonio will be on the Phoenix-Portland game because the Spurs will get the winner of that game in round one. Game one set for Sunday night, 8 o'clock. It's so cool to be back in the playoffs. As a Spurs fan, it is. In fact, the confidence level of winning a championship for me, high. Bought new furniture over the weekend. I saw on our YouTube, King JCG says, how much free furniture are you going to get? A lot. Got a new couch, new recliner, new rug over at Bob Mills Furniture because they were doing this promotion. Spurs win it all. That furniture's free. Well, after we took down our Christmas stuff, my wife said, I want new living room furniture. But, then her job sent her to North Carolina. So that's been kind of on hold. But she was in town this weekend and said, let's go. Now I got to figure out what the hell to do with the couch and the old furniture before the new stuff gets delivered on Saturday. I don't know. I got to figure that out. I've just heard bad things about Facebook Marketplace lately. I'm not sure if that's what I want to do. But I'll figure it out. But yeah, I've got to get rid of a couch by the end of the week. And I chose Saturday as the delivery day because I don't, getting furniture delivered in a 2-hour window and you don't know until they load the truck. Well, they wanted to come between 2 and 4. I'm busy. So I just picked Saturday because I'm in no hurry because, hell, I still have to figure out what to do with that couch. Because this year has been so unexpected. The Spurs' greatness. The win total that San Antonio had at the beginning of the year, according to BetOnline, was 44.5. I want to say I got them in Vegas at 42.5. They finished with 62 wins. 17.5 better. Best in the NBA, according to BetOnline. But while I was doing some stuff in the house because we've got the new furniture coming, I found an old newspaper that I kept for a reason, I guess, and divine intervention, I actually found this morning. It's the Spurs preview section. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see it. The Express News from Sunday, October 19th of 2025. So I was reading through the Spurs preview section, and it's crazy to think we all thought this at the beginning of the year. The great Mike Finger. It's time to see how things could turn out. Great article. Mike had the Spurs going 46-36, 8th in the Western Conference, although losing to Houston in the first round 4-2. Wemby, Defense Player of the Year, finishes 4th in the MVP voting. And Harper just missed out on becoming the 3rd consecutive Rookie of the Year, losing out to Cooper Flagg. Jeff McDonald, a great article, Playoff Hopes Rest largely on Wemby. Tom Worsborn with some great art. It was fun going back and reading this, because if this would have worked out the way it was projected, which is kind of what we all thought, they would be better than last year, obviously. Probably not 50 wins, but certainly above 500, barely. And play-in would have been expected. Getting like the 5th or 6th seed would have been gold. They finishes the 2 seed. 62 wins. Defensive Player of the Year is happening. Nobody predicted Keldon as 6th Man of the Year, but that's going to happen, I think. Wemby getting MVP is another debate. And I'm curious how this is all going to play out, because generally speaking, the writers that and NBA media that get to vote are supposed to have their votes in prior to the first play-in game. So tomorrow night, 5 o'clock. Although I've been told by a voter, there's a little delay because we don't know if Luka is going to be eligible because he's got that little appeal thing going. Now, therein lies part of the debate. Luka is going to miss out on being eligible by 1 game. Now, my problem with Luka is he missed a game because of a suspension. So without that suspension, because of technical fouls, he would have qualified. I've got no sympathy for that. I do understand he missed some games because he had to leave the country for the birth of a child. I do understand real injuries. But the debate started raging over the weekend because Wemby's really good at math. And do we go with games played or do we go with minutes? The fact that some postseason honors, like scoring champ, is, based on other criteria than for the postseason awards, which also affect money. And Wemby, I don't know what tweaks could be made. Could it be about minutes?
If a guy plays 50 games, 35 minutes a game, that's 50 times 35, that's 1750, right? Am I right? Yeah. And if a guy plays 75 games at 20 minutes, it's 1,500. So, it's not, it's a good view, in my opinion, to not have a limit. It's one opinion. 75% of the games, in my opinion, would be a logical thing, and that would be 61.5 games, right? So 62 games.
By the way, your math on all of those was spot on.
Of course it is.
You're doing some multiplication table. Of course the alien gets it.
So,
see, minutes played, I don't think solves the problem for Adam Silver. And we're talking about a minimum 65 out of 82. Wemby's like 75% of the game. How many of us could show up for work 75% of the time and keep their job? I also look at the integrity of the vast majority of the voters. Probably wouldn't vote for a guy that only played in 50 games. But the rule was put in partly to get the Stars to play in more games to satisfy the TV partners and, to a degree, those of you that buy tickets to go. Because who wants to go to a game like last night where Wemby didn't play? If you had tickets for that game, you were disappointed that Wemby didn't play. Legit injuries, you understand. Last game of the season, even Charles Barkley was pissed off with the number of guys that sat out yesterday.
Let's rest these 2 guys. Yes. Come on, man. You rest Wemby, maybe. You rest Joker and Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon.
Getting up to
You rest LeBron because he's 102 years old. But all these dudes just sitting out. That's just disrespectful, man.
And that's part of it, right? We want to see star players play. It's an 82-game season. Injuries happen. But the rest games, that's what Adam Silver was trying to avoid. Encourage guys to play, tie money to it. For a while, I've been, well, maybe their contract shouldn't be tied to it, because last week, I know I was a little angry that here Wemby, who suffered an injury late, came back into a game in which he left hurt to get to that 15-minute qualifier exemption. At least it appears that way, that he came back in just to get enough minutes so that one would count. And then he had to play Friday, 20 minutes, to hit the minimum 65 games. The minimum. Now he's eligible. Minutes played, to me, doesn't solve that problem for Adam Silver. Could it be a combination of this many games plus this many minutes? And then you get math involved. But no matter what they do to tweak this rule, and I do expect them to tweak it some, because there's been so much debate, and there are so many guys that would be on all NBA teams at the very least that aren't going to be eligible this year because of this rule. I do think there will be some tweaks, but for those that, heard Wemby do math and say, yeah, let's make it about minutes, I completely disagree. And it certainly seems like most of the listeners of this program do too, because our poll question today on our YouTube page, go to San Antonio Sports Stars YouTube page to vote, should NBA awards be games played or minutes played? And right now, 68% say games played. Now, 65 games, minimum of 20, with the two exceptions that could be 15. And Wemby got a free game because he played in that Cup final, right? But he also dealt with some serious injuries. He also rested a game in Denver not long ago. That almost bit him in the ass. I don't know what Adam Silver is going to do. I know there's some different theories out there, but I think the minimums need to be there. Could there be exceptions? Sure. I know voters have until tomorrow, although are we waiting on this Luka deal? Now, one voter has already put his ballot out. He's already said, here's what I'm doing. This is my ballot. And that's Kevin O'Connor's from Yahoo, Kevin O'Connor. He's got Wemby winning MVP. SGA at 2, the Joker 3rd on his ballot. And what I find interesting about this article that's already out, and you will see a lot of different reporters starting to publish who they voted for and why. Kevin O'Connor starts his article on Yahoo. It should have been the easiest MVP decision in years. SGA is the reigning MVP and Finals MVP, and he's even better this season. Best player on the best team, and he's been that for the entire season. The case for Shea to win a second straight MVP should be the cleanest, most boring, most airtight argument in basketball. Best player, best team, historic consistency, blah, 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 except this guy named Victor Wembanyama. And he goes into that. And I wonder how many voters are going to read what Kevin O'Connor wrote and think about their vote, or are thinking the same thing independently. I wonder how much that question by Jared Weiss of The Athletic, when he asked Wemby for 3 things, and Wemby answered. I'm not going to call it a campaign speech because he was answering a question. I wonder how many will be swayed there. For me, it's still SGA. Wemby's going to win Defensive Player of the Year. I also wonder, does SGA and the Joker split some votes? And on the point system, does that put Wemby up at the top?
Screw it.
I mean, it's true. I mean, how is this all going to work out? It is a fair debate and a fair question when you start going through and you're looking at who's going to win these awards, how it's going to play out. But Wemby, top of the list from the Professional Basketball Writers Association all-interview team, first team, is Vic, because he gives great, solid answers every time. He's honest. There's so many reasons he is likable. And you wonder, how does that factor in? SGA is not on the all-interview team. And you are dealing with human voters with human emotions. And there's something about just the honesty and non-cliche answers you get from Victor. And you start reading Kevin O'Connor, and you go, yeah, he's right. I mean, Defensive Player of the Year, that should be unanimous, right? MVP, I still think if I had a vote, which I don't, I'd have to vote SGA. Best player on the best team. Consistency. Hard not to vote for Vic. I get it. I'm trying to also be a little unbiased. But at least one national writer has already put his ballot out, and they're not due until tomorrow, which makes me wonder how many others will see that and read this very detailed article by Kevin O'Connor and think, you know what? He's got a point. It's on Yahoo if you haven't read it. It is extremely detailed. And it was and is SGA's to lose. But has Vic done enough? Barely qualifying. And really the case for Wemby, as Kevin O'Connor writes, look beyond the box score. Crazy. Crazy when you think about it. And what an incredible year for the San Antonio Spurs. Completely unexpected. So much better than what we all thought it was going to be at the start of the season. To the point now where if they're not at least in the Western Conference Finals, while we're excited and they've already overachieved all our expectations, now I think true disappointment if they aren't at least in the Western Conference Finals, or we're planning another River Parade because they're just that damn good this year. It's going to be so much fun. We'll continue to talk more Spurs as we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. If you need your logo on any gear or any kind of promotional items, get into Sammy's Embroidery and Printing down on San Pedro. Golf shirts, fishing shirts, dress shirts. Sam has all the big name brands like North Face, Eddie Bauer, Nike, Travis Matthew, Port Authority, even Tommy Bahama. Unique caps. Sam has over 25,000 caps and more than 75 color combinations on display in his showroom, including the popular Richardson 112 style trucker caps, Katie caps, Nike Cap America, to name a few. If you need t-shirts, screen printed, go see Sam. And uniforms, man, Sam has over 700 uniform lines to choose from all kinds of industries, but he's got so much more than just uniforms. So if you're running a business, go see Sam and ask him about his sign shop where he can do signs, banners, flags, car magnets, vehicle wraps, window decals, and so much more. Sammy's Embroidery and Printing. Nobody has better prices. He's the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. Call 210-824-3900, 824-3900, or better yet, go by that massive showroom down on San Pedro, 1 mile inside Loop 410 across from the McDonald's, or check the website, samsembroidery.com, for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
KTFM Floresville. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Your home for the Blitz. 2 to 6 on YouTube and always at sasportstar.com.
Hey golfers, you could win a set of custom golf clubs from Flight by Yingling. Thank you to everyone who played in the sold-out 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Tournament presented by Flight by Yingling. Now, imagine hitting the course with a set of custom clubs valued at $2,800 with a cold flight, 2.6 carbs, and 95 calories. Enter now at yingling.com/golf. No purchase necessary. Must be 21 or older. Flight by Yingling. Enjoy responsibly. DG Yingling & Sons, Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
I've taken up candle making.
Nigel, the whole office smells like wet dog and gym socks.
My nose is highly refined.
Folks, if your home smells a little off, it might be your AC. Portamoon's Breathe Easy package pulls and deep cleans your blower motor, blower wheel, and housing, cleans your coil in place, disinfects the inside of your AC cabinet, and installs a UV light to help zap bacteria and other nasties hiding in your unit. All for just $6.95.
Quartermoon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, 210-651-5899. License number TACLA 141-074-EM16004.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Join the Blitz live this Tuesday at NAW, Northwest Automotive Warehouse on Calabria. Fiesta with NAW and promos that will make you want to party. The Blitz live Tuesday 2 to 6 at NAW, Northwest Automotive Warehouse in that big red building on Calabria Road.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select Oil Filter for just $32.99 now at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. We have meaningful basketball being played in San Antonio for the first time in years, and you know the Roof Hub has proven to be the best place to go watch the games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roof Hub, show up hungry. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch the game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roof Hub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen for Pella Windows and Doors. Sometimes teams take a timeout to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Pella Windows and Doors always has the winning game plan. They're not just window and door experts. They're experts at taking care of you and your home. At Pella, they find the products that meet your needs and their experts install them. They do it every day, and that's why your neighbors trust them. Discover why Pella is a trusted choice for homeowners everywhere. Visit Pella.com/Eisen today. That's Pella.com/Eisen.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
San Antonio Spurs closed out the regular season with a loss as they would fall to Denver last night, but they're still the #2 seed, and they are waiting on the winner of the 7-8 matchup in the play-in tournament. That will be Portland and Phoenix. That happens tomorrow night. In other NBA news, Doc Rivers officially out in Milwaukee as he and the Bucks have mutually agreed to part ways.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the 3rd time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, a San Antonio Sports Star. Joe Reinagel has the day off. I'm Jason Minix. Glad to have you along on this Monday afternoon. What a Monday, too. Masters yesterday. NBA regular season is over, and in San Antonio, we have the playoffs to look forward to, and not just the playoffs. A team that has a chance to make a legitimate title run. Incredible what the San Antonio Spurs have done this year. The excitement level, everywhere you go, it's just fun. And like a buddy of mine just texted me about Fiesta, and Candlebox is playing at Oyster Bake this weekend. Now, I did text Kevin Martin the other day. He's probably going to be on the show at some point this week. Lead singer from Candlebox, MacArthur High School grad, by the way. He asked, "Are you going?" I said, "Well, no, I hadn't been to Oyster Bake in years. I would, but I didn't want to get tickets until I knew what the Spurs' schedule was like." Well, game 1, Sunday night, 8 p.m. See, if they were playing Saturday afternoon or Saturday night, probably wouldn't even go to Oyster Bake. It's fun now that the Spurs are in the playoffs and your Fiesta events are going to be impacted by the Spurs playoff schedule. It's been a while since we've had those issues here. A long time since we've had those issues. So, yeah, now that I know the Spurs are playing on Sunday, a trip to Oyster Bake on Saturday night might be a lot of fun. Speaking of, you're going to Oyster Bake down on Calabria Road over at St. Mary's. You're going to pass Northwest Automotive Warehouse. They're on Calabria Road, that big red building, NAW. That's where the Blitz is going to be live tomorrow, broadcasting 2 to 6. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So come see us tomorrow there at NAW. Right now, let's do the Headline Blitz.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. Brought to you by Novo Brazil Brewery in North Star Mall. Two guys, two opinions, never enough time.
You know, I thought that McDonald's CEO, that story had its 15 minutes. We'd all kind of forgotten about it because the guy ate McDonald's on video, tasting the arch like he had never eaten a hamburger before. Come on, pledge.
That wasn't Arch sauce. It was somebody's sauce, but it wasn't Arch's.
Well, it was, but remember that CEO just had that little nothing bite. And everybody made fun of him. The CEOs of all the major chains did their videos. They were local restaurants all over the country with their bosses eating their food like they actually enjoyed it. So it's kind of done, isn't it? Well, their CEO, he was doing an interview with the Wall Street Journal. Now, that's not a surprise or even unusual. You would kind of expect the McDonald's CEO to have an interview with something like that. But they actually asked him about eating the burger on video. And this dude blames his mother. Yep. He didn't come up with any kind of excuse. He blames his mom. Quote, "I think I blame it all on my mom because she told me, don't talk with your mouth full. And I think probably in that case, I should have just said, you know what, the hell with it. I'm going to talk with my mouth full." Yeah, dude. McDonald's is so good at marketing. They are. For their social media team to post that. But for him, now again, think about all of it. Think about that whole setting. Dude didn't even have a full thing of fries, right? He was having his lunch. The CEO can't get a full thing of fries. Are you kidding? But then he takes that pathetic little bite like he's never eaten McDonald's. They even asked him, "Are you vegetarian?" He was like, No. But he goes and he blames his mother. I think all of our moms taught us not to talk with our mouth full. But there are times and places, if you're going to show off your food, you take a big old bite and you go with it. That's part of the funny. Ridiculous. Speaking of McDonald's and a guy that has no problem eating McDonald's, including probably the arch sauce, although no word that he's actually tried the big arch, is our president, Donald Trump. A first ever happened today. A DoorDash delivery to the White House. And yes, President Trump ordered McDonald's. Now, obviously a stage deal because he's showing off his no tax on tips. And he tipped the DoorDasher $100. What I find interesting, it was 2 big old bags of McDonald's. But reading this pledge, I did not realize there was also a tax break on overtime. How many thousands did you save this year?
Not as much as I should have, probably, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if I was actually taxed on my overtime or not. Or if I got a refund for it.
According to the White House, no tax on tips. More than 5.5 million Americans have claimed no tax on tips so far. Average deduction, $7,100. No tax on overtime. 25 million Americans have claimed no tax on overtime with average deduction of over $3,000. I heard about the no tax on tips. I didn't know about that overtime part. I don't qualify for either one, so maybe I haven't paid attention, but you didn't know anything about it either.
No, the only thing I've ever heard of is the tax on tips, and I remember that was a thing back when y'all were at Circa last year.
Well, I mean, because President Trump went to Circa to promote it, but it is kind of interesting. Kind of cool to see a DoorDasher getting into the White House.
Had to have been staged, right?
Oh, it was definitely staged.
Because there's got to be a background check with that, right?
I'm sure that DoorDash, she's got a
they had to be vetted.
Yeah. Do you imagine you get the order, Oval Office? I imagine there's probably been a security guard or staffers that have DoorDashed, you would think. But that one went right up to the Oval Office. She didn't leave it at the front gate. I mean, she was right there. And then the president threw her into a press conference, asking her all kinds of stuff that she had no business answering, but she handled herself well and was like, I'm here to talk about it was all stayed a little odd, par for the course. But you look at it, she's grandma, and then her story is wonderful because she's made a lot of extra money, no taxes on it. It's her full-time gig. She's been with DoorDash for a long time. She's a grandma. Her shirt said DoorDash grandma. Her husband dealing with cancer, reduced work hours. So it was the perfect setup story of who's going to deliver the first DoorDash to the Oval Office. And it was McDonald's.
Not pizza?
No, it was McDonald's.
Remember that story about like the Pentagon and pizza and...
Oh, because they were doing some strikes and ordered a whole bunch of pizza at night? Yeah. That happens. that happens. TMZ is reporting that Britney Spears has checked herself into rehab. They also say, their sources say, part of the reason she's decided to go to rehab now because of her pending DUI case. Quote, she knows strategically this will look good in front of the judge that she is taking it seriously. You buying that?
Yes. Same reason Tiger Woods is going to rehab.
Yes.
Good for her. I just hope she actually, gets the help instead of just doing it as a PR stunt.
Well, I mean, I hope she gets the help and she isn't doing it just so the judge says, all right, well, you've done enough.
Mm-hmm.
You tried. We'll let you off. They didn't say if this was for her drug or alcohol addiction or if it's a little of both. Also doesn't say where she went. I wonder if she's at that same place Tiger went.
No, Tiger needs his privacy.
You don't think Britney doesn't?
She does, but Tiger's not letting her into hers.
Well, I mean, Tiger doesn't have a choice, but he's at a facility where only rich people can go for privacy.
I think Tiger's at a different tax bracket.
Yep. Probably. Although she could afford to go wherever she wants. She can. Let's talk some Spurs in the NBA playoffs that start Sunday night. Although there is one downside of Game 1 on Sunday. We'll talk about it coming up here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
All right, step up. If you really know the Rangers, this is your game on Rangers Game Day. Make your call in the morning huddles, Ranger Double Dinger Payday. Pick the Ranger who takes one deep. He hits one, you're in. Ranger tickets. He hits two. Now we're talking tickets and a hotel stay. Big swings, big rewards. Wake up with the morning huddle and cash in with the morning huddle's Rangers Double Dinger Payday. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the Texas Rangers.
The Headline Blitz is brought to you by Novo Brewery, San Antonio's newest sports watching destination with over 80 feet of video walls, 60 craft beers, and hard kombucha on tap. A full bar and delicious menu. Novo Brewery is attached to North Star Mall and open late hours. San Antonio's newest sports headquarters is Novo Brewery. We're talking over 80 feet of massive video walls, a lineup of craft beers, and hard kombucha on tap. Novo Brewery, juicy, thick-cut ribeye steaks, picanha prime sirloin, Brazilian empanadas, stacked burgers, and more. Novo Brewery, built for fans, friends, and full-on game day energy. Novo Brewery attached to North Star Mall with late hours. Check out the menu and taps at novobrew.com. That's novobrew.com.
Shh, here she comes. Surprise! They sent a duplicate shipment to your flower shop. Now you have to pay for 1,000 extra carnations. Also, there's a beehive outside your store, and they're super aggressive. There's thousands of them.
Progressive knows small business owners usually don't like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise, saving 13% on commercial auto insurance when you pay in full.
Also, the egg salad you just ate was expired. Gross.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
I need a little range. Step to the range. Come on, meet me at the
Introducing the new Chick-fil-A Jalapeno Ranch Club Sandwich. With that juicy Chick-fil-A chicken on a buttermilk ranch bun, jalapeno ranch sauce, and pickled jalapenos, it's a little ranch with a lot of kick. The new Chick-fil-A Jalapeno Ranch Club with original spicy or grilled filet. Available for a limited time only. Order ahead on the Chick-fil-A app.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Right now at the Home Depot, shop Spring Black Friday savings and get up to 40% off, plus up to $500 off select appliances from top brands like Samsung. Get a fridge with 0 clearance hinges, so the doors open fully even in tighter spaces in your kitchen. And laundry that saves you time, like an all-in-one washer-dryer that can run a full load in just 68 minutes. Shop Spring Black Friday savings, plus get free delivery on appliance purchases of $998 or more at the Home Depot. Offer valid April 9th through April 29th. U.S. only. See store online for details.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-927-1086. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-927-1086. 800-927-1086. 800-927-1086.
The NFL is on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Phoenix and Portland play tomorrow night in the play-in game. The winner of that game gets the San Antonio Spurs in Game 1 of the first round of the playoffs Sunday night at the Frostbank Center. Cannot wait. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Joe Reinagel has the day off. I'm Jason Minix. Glad to have you along. If you're watching on YouTube, appreciate that. If you're commenting, I'm trying to keep up with it, but by yourself, it's a little bit difficult with all the comments that are rolling in there. But we do have a poll on our YouTube page. Should NBA awards be about games played or minutes played? Right now, games well out in the lead, 66-34. As mentioned, game one is on Sunday night, 8 o'clock. The downside is this year the NBA has decided that there will be no local TV broadcast at all. Every game is on national TV with no local option. That sucks. Sucks for Jacob Toby, sucks for Sean Elliott. We get so used to as fans tuning in to our local TV broadcasters, even when there is a national option, because our guys know our team and we know them. And in just about every NBA city, people love their local broadcast. They just do. And for the NBA to make that decision, I realize it's all about money. But even like these play-in tournaments, all the games this week are on Prime. Mike Breen, who's the lead play-by-play voice on the national level, is also the New York Knicks television play-by-play guy when he's not doing the national stuff. And he said yesterday on the Knicks final broadcast, you know what? This sucks.
Of course, this is the first time ever that no longer can the home team announcers and broadcasters televise the first round. The entire playoffs exclusive to the national TV partners. I mentioned this earlier this season. I personally think, Clyde, it's a poor decision. Fans want to hear their team's announced team, at least in the first round, because for so many of us, and that's been on all my favorite teams growing up, the home team announcers, they become part of the family, such a big part of why you root for the team. Now, I get it that the networks pay a fortune to get exclusivity. Obviously, I work for one of the networks, and it's important for them. But I just think the fans deserve to be thrown a bone once in a while in terms of, let the home team have a little bit of the first round. Somehow, if there's any way it could ever work out some kind of compromise. I'm not hopeful for that, but right. It'd be wonderful to have it, because this is our final telecast of the season. As is Eric Collins and Del Curry doing it for the Hornets.
Well, and that's it. And last night, Jacob Toby, Sean Elliott, that was their last broadcast of the season. Now, Jacob has mentioned a couple of times that they will be doing some stuff pre and post and probably some specials and whatnot, but it's not the same. And I always thought it kind of sucked that the deeper you got, your hometown team, during the NBA Finals, they didn't get to be a part of those broadcasts and those calls. You only get the national call. Local radio is still there, so Dan Weiss will have that. You've got, 4 championships with Bill Schoening with the final call. You got the one championship in '99 with Jay Howard on the call on radio. But we never got to hear Bill Land with a championship game call for the San Antonio Spurs. And that part does suck. And it's the same, it in some ways, like the NFL doesn't have local TV. They do in the preseason, it's just local radio. But it does kind of suck. And I appreciate Mike Breen in some ways biting the hand that feeds him, because he is the national guy. We get that. But he also works for the New York Knicks, so he does that. And it is all about the money. And I wonder, like for the Spurs, how much more money could they make as an individual organization if they were able to sell playoff sponsorships for their TV broadcasts? On the flip side, how much are they actually losing this year since they don't have that in the first round? I don't know how their deals are set up. Is it regular season and playoffs all the way through, or is it just through the regular season and playoffs cost more? I don't know how they do that. But that part does suck, because this season has been so much fun, and a big part of that is Jacob Toby, in his second year as the Spurs TV play-by-play man, has done a really solid job of setting up Sean Elliott and getting out of the way. And to not have Sean and not have Jacob in the first round, and it was always kind of bittersweet after the second round. You get to the conference finals, and their trip is done. But I appreciate the fact that Mike Breen went that way because it is true. For a guy that is the national guy, to understand the importance of the local TV broadcast and why, I don't know why I get why it's money, but why they couldn't go all the way through. If your team is playing, go. I know as a broadcaster, if I had that opportunity, I can only imagine what Jacob Toby is feeling right now. You go through all the regular season games and, for Jacob to deal with last year or Sean to deal with the last 5 or 6 years, now you get the reward of you've got a great team that could go win it all, and essentially you're benched. I know those are the rules and you sign up for it, but that sucks. It does. I guess good news is you don't have to hunt for where the game is going to be played, because that's the other problem, if you will, with all the different streaming partners that the NBA has, is trying to figure out where the game is on a particular night if you didn't look it up ahead of time. Because you go to your first place, then you go to your second place, then you go to your, again, all the TV partners, and they're paying all that money for the exclusivity, but that part does. It's got, and I know it sucks for Jacob. He talked about it some on the broadcast, and he's, publicly said all the right things, but that sucks for him and for Sean. And I think for us as the fans, because we want our local guys that know our team better than anybody else and the stories that come along with it.
How much does the going away of FanDuel Sports Network or the collapse or whatever's happening with that affecting this?
None.
Okay.
None. I mean, the FanDuel and all the teams affected by the FanDuel collapse, they'll all find new TV partners next year. But it doesn't matter. This particular NBA rule they put in this year, regardless of where your games are played, right? It's the national contracts get the exclusive rights. So they know that they're not competing with anybody else. They're not going to lose some ratings points in San Antonio or New York or L.A. or wherever the games are. So that has nothing to do with it. It's all purely Prime spent a whole lot of money. They don't want to share. The only place you can watch those games is on their networks. And that's, whether it's Prime or Peacock or ESPN, ABC, that's the going rate for the billions of dollars that they're spending. Now, you do bring up a good point, though, with FanDuel going away, who will be the Spurs TV broadcast partner next year, and nobody knows that right now. And quite frankly, I'm not even worried about it because somebody's going to come along and somebody's going to have them. They will be available. We just don't know yet.
I mean, I'm surprised the teams aren't all over that and trying to basically monetize that themselves.
I imagine that there's a lot of stuff being done behind the scenes that isn't public yet, but you need some sort of broadcast carrier to be able to do it. I know the Astros tried it years ago, and it was a colossal failure.
Root?
Huh? Yeah.
Root?
Yeah. So, I mean, but who knows? I mean, in this world of, I think what they have learned is you can't just go 100% streaming. But in the last 5 years, could they put together their own deal? I look at what the Dallas Stars have done and some of the other teams in Dallas with the victory. But you have to have an app for that. But most of us have streaming TV now. Although San Antonio is one of the, places where that's not the case. I know Joe Reinagle has said many times that when he was working at Ken's, the games that aired on Ken's were always so highly rated because so many people here don't have cable. So they couldn't watch it when it was on then Fox Southwest. So I don't know how much that has changed over the last couple of years because so many people have cut the cord, if that's still the case. But I can't imagine a lot of people are going to spend $20 a month just to be able to watch Spurs games. They're just not. I mean, because that app was awful when they tried that a couple of years ago.
Well, part of it, too, whether it's cable or Ken's or you're paying for something, a known quantity, and something that has an established reputation in terms of the broadcast quality, whether it's ESPN or whatever it may be. If you're buying an app unknown, unseen, new, you don't have that trust that it's going to be much like that whatever Spurs app. It was awful.
It was awful, and that was from a network. But if you want to watch the Spurs, and granted, a couple of years ago, the Spurs sucked. So was it worth spending $20 a month? If they're a championship level team, are you more likely to spend your money there knowing that they're likely to win more games than they are lose? I look at like FanDuel Southwest. Do you ever watch that channel when the Spurs aren't on? No. I mean, now, if you're watching the game and you turn your TV off and you go to bed and then the next day you get up and you put it on and there's something on that's interesting, but there's not a whole lot going on that channel that I'm watching on a regular basis unless it's a game. So if the Spurs are only on a streaming option and it's a fee, you think they're going to win, you're likely to pay for it. If they're going to, win 20 and lose 62, you're probably not going to pay for it. So a couple years ago when they were trying to get you to fork over $20 a month to watch them, the hell with that. They suck. Why would I spend that money that way?
But it's a lot easier to justify that money when it's rolled into a cable package.
Well, sure, but also a lot easier to pay that money if you think your team is winning.
Sure.
But I don't know yet if they're going to be on whatever the new network is, if somebody buys FanDuel, bails them out, if who knows?
I'm shocked Prime hasn't just bought those regional sports networks in its entirety, the FanDuel moniker, to be able to do this with as many NBA games as they want.
It's a whole bunch of suits in boardrooms looking at P&Ls and deciding what's the best way for them to make money. And the way TV is going these days, with fewer and fewer and fewer subscribers to the direct TVs and the Spectrums and all that, is that still the smart way to go, or is the better way to go a streaming service? Although the way streaming services are now, and all the different services that you have, and used to be you cut the cord and saved a bunch of money. I don't know that that's the case anymore. I mean, I got a thing in the mail the other day from DirecTV. Now, granted, I cut my cord 2 years ago, and they finally sent me a postcard saying, come back. And it was like $95 a month. Mind you, I was spending $350. Now it's $95. Well, that's still more expensive than YouTube TV and some of the others. Certainly a lot more expensive than what I have now. So no, I'm not coming back. But I was surprised to see what the price was, because I haven't seen prices like that. It got all your ESPNs for free, all this kind of. I'm like, that's a hell of an offer. Where was that a couple years ago? If not, I still might be your customer.
To me, it's got I've got the Maxes and the HBOs, and it's all rolled into my account
on your Spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you spend a month?
$165.
$165.
And it is, they've included all streaming, all the ESPN, everything. So,
yeah, no,
instead of $20 here, $30 here, for this subscription, that subscription, I got that plus all the cable stuff.
Well, you're 45 now. They're going to start calling you a boomer because you're still connected to the cord.
I've still got my streams.
Mm-hmm.
I've still got those apps.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be interesting. One other quick Spurs note. Express News has an article today that's rather interesting. And I will say that I agree with Mayor Gina Ortiz-Jones on this one.
I want a deal. I want a deal.
And not only does she want a deal, but she wants the Spurs to pay their bill. And I don't disagree with her. According to the Express News, Spurs Sports Entertainment had until 2021 to acquire an MLS team or owe a $5 million penalty. Remember when the county and the city went in to buy the soccer stadium from Gordon Hartman and the Spurs were a part of that? Well, part of that deal was they were trying to get a soccer team. And I don't need to rehash everything that went wrong. And the Spurs, SS&E, the MLS screwed San Antonio because they already had a deal done with the dude from Columbus and moving it to Austin. The Spurs say that, well, it wasn't in fair play, although, according to the article, all the legal measures, MLS did nothing wrong. If the Spurs owe the city $5 million, they should have to pay that. They've apparently only paid $250,000 of the $5 million that they owe. And quite frankly, as I read this article, I'm surprised the city hasn't done a better job of trying to collect from the San Antonio Spurs. Ever get a parking ticket downtown? You ever get a ticket from the water police?
I mean, they spent the last year trying to get them to stay, so.
Well, I again, though, if there's a contract and they're supposed to pay a bill, I'm kind of surprised that the city hasn't been a little bit more forceful, even though the Spurs have said, hey, look, I know we did this. We didn't really have a chance. Let it go away. Because the city and county still bought the soccer stadium. And they're paying rent on that. But if there was a $5 million penalty in there, if they didn't get it done, and that's part of the reason why the city and the county went in to buy the stadium, Spurs should have to pay that. According to the Express News, the $5 million repayment was to be repaid gradually from 2021 to 2028, according to San Antonio FC's lease agreement, which is blah, 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 currently run by blah, blah, blah. SS&E has repaid $250,000, according to information city manager Eric Walsh provided to City Council. But it has missed $1.75 million worth of scheduled payments, according to Walsh. After factoring in interest, that outstanding balance amounts to more than $2 million. I'm with the mayor on this one. If they owe that money, they should have to pay it. Kind of interesting.
Don't go. What? Don't go.
Yeah.
Spend a year doing things to try and, hey, stay here. Don't leave. Don't go to Austin or Nashville or.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, and hey,
Vegas.
We need you guys to spend a lot of money on the new Wemby Center. Don't worry about that $5 million. And pay your bills. Come on, Peter J. Holt, pay your damn bills. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star.
Got to talk to you, though, about Stevens Roofing. You know I love Stevens Roofing. I love the family. They're a great family, just really nice people. They've been in business in San Antonio since 1983, so you know they do it right. They take care of their customers because their customers keep coming back and back and back. That's just the way it is supposed to work in a business or any type of business, especially something like the roofing business. And now, look, Stevens Roofing has added solar to what they do. If you've been thinking about solar panels on your house, and I know a lot of people are thinking about that and doing it these days, Stevens Roofing and Solar is the company you need to call, 210-785-0994. Let them know exactly what you're thinking about doing, what you want to do, what goals you want to achieve, and they're going to help you put a plan together, and they will take care of you. You know that up front. Look, if you've stepped outside and you see something you don't like on your roof, you think there might be something wrong, or maybe you're seeing something in your house and maybe you think you have a leak, Stevens Roofing and Solar is the company you need to call. They're going to send out an experienced team. They'll inspect your roof. They'll do it for free, and they'll let you know if there's any issues that need to be corrected up there. And you know Stevens Roofing will take care of it, and they will take care of it the right way. Stevens Roofing and Solar, the absolute best in the business, 210-785-0994, or you can visit them online at stevensroofing.net.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Coming up on the Morning Huddle, Portland and Phoenix. Who are the Spurs going to get in round one? We'll find that out tomorrow, and we'll know the saga of Rob's corn tooth. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I've taken up candle making.
Nigel, the whole office smells like wet dog and gym socks.
My nose is highly refined.
Folks, if your home smells a little off, it might be your AC. Watermoon's Breathe Easy package pulls and deep cleans your blower motor, blower wheel, and housing, cleans your coil in place, disinfects the inside of your AC cabinet, and installs a UV light to help zap bacteria and other nasties hiding in your unit. All for just $6.95.
Quartermoon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, 210-651-5899. License number TACLA 1410740E16004.
Healthy vision is about more than seeing clearly. It's about going beyond. From comprehensive eye care with the latest technology to advanced vision solutions that provide deep insights into your overall health. And with doctors who build lasting relationships founded on trust, ensuring that every detail is taken care of. I choose Vision Source to never miss out on life's precious moments. Vision Source, beyond your eyes.
If you don't care about saving 50% off your wireless bill for the same 5G coverage the big guys are charging a fortune for, maybe you care about keeping jobs in America. Pure Talk does. They've pledged to run their entire operation from this country, including all their customer service. Or maybe you care about our nation's veterans. Pure Talk does. They've donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to America's Warrior Partnership, a fantastic organization working hard to prevent veteran suicide. Or maybe you care about closing America's skills gap. Pure Talk does. They're a proud supporter of MicroWorks. They're helping my foundation train the next generation of skilled workers. Don't get me wrong. Saving money's great, and you'll save plenty with Pure Talk. But if you want to be in business with people who share your values, dial pound 250. Say micro, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
What does it mean to work with one of the largest personal injury law firms in Texas? At Thomas J. Henry, it means we can put our team of experts to work for you. Visit thomasjhenrylaw.com. The name you know, the firm you trust. Principal office, San Antonio.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Progressive's Home Quote Explorer helps you easily find and buy the right coverage for you. It's everything you've always wanted. Well, I mean, as far as a website that lets you shop, quote, and buy insurance in one place. But hey, maybe that is everything you've always wanted. Yeah, people have different types of dreams. And if all you've ever been searching for is a website that helps you choose home insurance rates and coverage, boy, do we have great news about Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account. When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything. Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
It's Deck Days at Lowe's, and the savings are stacked. Right now, pros get 15% off all in-stock composite decking from top brands like Trex, TimberTech, and Decorators. Plus, get a free DeWalt 20-volt max 5-amp-hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt tool. The deck's stacked in your favor with brands pros trust. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 4/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Save $10 on a pair of Bosch Focus wiper blades. Our professional parts people will even install them for free at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 as San Antonio Sports Star. Joe Reinagle has the day off. He'll be back tomorrow. I'm Jason Munnix. In fact, tomorrow we're going to be live doing the Blitz over at the shop at NAW, Northwest Automotive Warehouse. They're on Calabria Road. Bunch of good people, and they always have something going on. It's the start of Fiesta. You can save some money. In fact, Oyster Bake next weekend. Driving down Calabre, you're going to drive right by NAW. It's that big red building there. Been around for a long time. Good local people. Shop local. Come see us tomorrow there at NAW Northwest Automotive Warehouse. The play-in starts tomorrow. All eyes in San Antonio will be on that Phoenix-Portland game because we get the winner of that game. But really, so much of the conversation right now is on postseason awards because the voters have until the play-in games start tomorrow. That's usually it, although I have been told by a voter that there's a little bit of delay trying to figure out if Luka is going to be eligible or not. Remember, he applied, or his agent applied for a waiver. Who knows if it will be granted. Mark Stein is also reporting that he's going to rejoin the Lakers on Friday. Now, he went to Europe to try to get some fancy hamstring services done over there that they can't do here. What that means, I don't know. Will he be available for that first-round series against the Rockets? I don't know, but he'll at least be back with the team. Now, Luka, as we sit right now, not eligible for postseason awards, although he does end the season as the scoring leader, 33.5 points per game. The Joker is not only your rebounds leader, but also your assist leader. Vic is your blocks leader, and Thompson is your steals leader. But when you look at postseason awards, there's the threshold of the 65 games. And again, Luka missed a game. He missed by one game. He also served a one-game suspension late because of his technical fouls. For me, that waiver denied for that reason alone. If that wasn't in play, would you be sympathetic to reasons? But you also drew a line in the sand and a hard, fast rule. I didn't know there was a waiver option until the Lakers said, or his agent said, well, wait a minute. So if that's an option, obviously you got to play that card. I just can't use it for Luka because one of the games he missed was because of a suspension. That said, I don't know that Luka's going to win MVP anyway. Now, could he change the voting? Potentially, because it's a point system. First place votes are equal to so many points, second place, and so on. For me, SGA is still the MVP. And I know there is a strong case to be made for Victor. In fact, Kevin O'Connor with Yahoo wrote an article today where he puts his ballot out, and he's voting for Wemby, according to his article. And what's interesting is how he starts his article is this should have been the easiest MVP decision in years, and it's all about SGA. Best player on the best team. Historic run. And then he makes his case for Wemby. And I wonder how many other voters feel the same way Kevin O'Connor does. I wonder how many people that haven't decided yet will read what Kevin O'Connor wrote, and that influences their decision because he goes way beyond the box score in his very detailed reasoning on how he voted and why he was voting for Victor over SGA and the Joker third. It will be interesting to see how the voting comes out. Again, if I had a vote, which I don't, not trying to sound like a homer, because if Vic wins, I'll be thrilled. But SGA is the best player on the best team. Had the Spurs caught Oklahoma City and they were the 1 seed, then I think you have a stronger case for Wemby to be it. In a lot of ways, to use a boxing analogy, because the Spurs didn't gain any ground on Oklahoma City over their incredible run since the beginning of February, they kind of left it to the judges. In this case, I think Victor needed to knock him out. That didn't happen. Again, if Wemby wins it, I'll be thrilled. But if I had a vote, I'm still voting for SGA. Wemby is going to be the defensive player of the year. I think the six-man award will go to Keldon Johnson. Coach of the year is going to be another interesting debate. I could see J.B. Bickerstaff winning it, although if I had a vote, I'd probably vote for Joe Mazzulla. Just because, my goodness, what that team did without Jason Tatum. And I know you could say, well, what about Jaylen Brown as MVP? I'm with you, but look at SGA. But Mazzulla, dude, I mean, you talk about performing over expectations. Mitch Johnson certainly a part of the conversation. But if I had a vote, I think I'd vote for Mazzulla, although I do think J.B. Bickerstaff probably ends up winning it. And I think for Bickerstaff, it's as much this year as the turnaround that has happened for the Detroit Pistons since he took over. I know it's supposed to be year to year, but again, we're dealing with human voters with human emotion. Con Canupel is going to beat out Cooper Flagg for Rookie of the Year. More of an impact player on a better team. The Mavericks sucked this year. Cooper was great, and granted, Wemby won Rookie of the Year and the Spurs sucked. But I look at Canupel and his impact on a better team. I would give the edge there to for Rookie of the Year. I don't know. Pledge, you're looking at me like you disagree with all of that.
Not all of it. Like I think Joe Mazzulla doesn't get enough credit for what he did this year, but I'm just trying to apply similar rules to similar awards, right? So SGA, best player, best team, historic, yada, yada, yada. Well, the way we talk about Coach of the Year, shouldn't similar rules apply? Like, you're projected to win this many games, you've gone this far over expectation, because it sounds like that's also the criteria we're using with Rookie of the Year. Well, the Spurs had the best over expectation wins. Shouldn't Mitch Johnson get credit for that?
I mean, he should. I mean, I'm looking at Bet Online. The Spurs were projected to win 44.5 in October. They finished with 62, so 17.5 over projections. Now, Detroit, 46.5, they get to 60, 13.5. Boston was 42.5. They got to 56 wins, 13.5. Right? Now, if you're just going scoreboard, obviously Mitch Johnson would win there. And first-year head coach, technically speaking, although he did have a year basically as an interim coach. I mean, the Spurs were the biggest overachievers. So were the Hornets were second on that list, which is why Con Canupel, for me, over Cooper Flagg. And again, part of it is I look at what Mazzulla did this year, and I know the Spurs way overachieved.
With a veteran team that's been there and done that.
Am I going to finish the sentence, or where are you going here?
No, I was just...
Right? I mean, but I look at the Spurs team is far better than any of us thought they were going to be. But if you took a star player off, like a Jason Tatum, and you're able to keep that boat afloat and overachieve the way they did, a lot of great coaching there. To me, that's why it's Mazzulla over a Mitch Johnson or over a Bickerstaff that I don't think many, I mean, where was Detroit? 46.5 wins? I mean, yeah, they've done, and that's why I think, and they finished a 1 seed. So I think Bickerstaff might win over Mitch Johnson. But if I had a vote, I'm going Mazzulla just because, they could have been like Golden State this year, or they could have been like, Milwaukee this year. When you're down a couple of players, you tend to suck.
Indiana.
And Indiana, without Halliburton. I mean, so when you look at that's why I would vote for Mazzulla over a Mitch Johnson and over a Bickerstaff. I'd love to say, yeah, man, it's going to be a clean sweep for the Spurs, but I also have to factor that in because the voters do. If Wemby's winning Defensive Player of the Year, depending on what he does with MVP, 6 Men of the Year, I do think Keldon probably wins that in a bit of a runaway. Are they going to vote Mitch Johnson Coach of the Year? You see where I'm
I know.
You kind
I'm
of
just looking at what they were.
That route.
I'm just looking at what they were to what they became, and not a lot changed. It's not like they went and added a whole bunch of pieces in free agency and revamped this roster. This is technically the same guys that were there the year before, sans like a Luke Cornett. And you added a Dylan
as Luke
Harper.
Said he's probably like the 9th man of the year.
Exactly.
I mean, it's possible.
And then at the same time, you look at they've started the year without Castle and Wemby. Wemby missed extended period of time throughout the season. I mean, you had to deal without Dylan Harper for a good chunk of the year. Like, they've dealt with their own injury issues and were never fully healthy until this second half of the year when they went on this run.
Which, again, this team is extremely deep. And that is where a guy like Brian Wright doesn't get near the credit he should. But then again, we all saw this talent at the beginning of the year, and we all thought they might maybe a 5th or 6th seed, but definitely a play-in team, right? We all saw the talent that was acquired.
Mm-hmm.
And Mitch Johnson should get a ton of credit for getting that talent to do what it's been able to do this year. But again, the biggest overachievers are the Spurs, Hornets, and then the Celtics, Pistons, and Suns, right? Your vote's your vote, my vote's mine. I'm just telling you how I would vote.
Yeah. I'm just devil's advocate because all of them are deserving this year. If we're honest.
If Boston were fully healthy all year, if Jason Tatum had played, then Missoula may not even be in the conversation. But I think Bickerstaff probably gets a little bit more love than Mitch Johnson. Although, hell, if Mitch won, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised because he has done a hell of a job, far better than any of us thought when, he was handpicked by Pop. And you could tell just the way he coached last year as the interim coach versus the way he is coaching this year. It really felt like last year he was following the marching orders. This is what Pop would want. And this year his fingerprints are all over this team, and he has done things while getting counsel from Greg Popovich. It certainly feels like this is Mitch Johnson's team. It's not necessarily, all right, Pop gave me the team. I'm driving my dad's car. I better not get a dent in it, and I'm going to park exactly where my dad would park, and I'm going to go get it washed, and we're not going to eat in the car because Dad won't let me. I mean, this feels like it's Mitch Johnson's car, not Mitch Johnson driving Greg Popovich's car, which is what we had last year.
And I will say, out of all the teams or the coaches on the teams, the one truly shocking surprise, like I didn't expect them to be in the conversation when we're talking about the postseason, Charlotte.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
Everybody else, we kind of expected them to be in the conversation. We expected the Hornets to be in the conversation of the number 1 overall pick.
True. Anthony Barber on YouTube says, Celtics beat the Magic starting squad with their C team. If that doesn't sum up Coach of the Year, I don't know what does. And boy, did that kind of screw up the playoff picture there for some in the Eastern Conference yesterday. What little drama there was on the final Sunday. The Spurs' first playoff game is next Sunday night. That means you got to find out something to do on Saturday afternoon. How about a 4-pack of tickets to see the Gunslingers take on the Vegas Nighthawks Saturday, 4 o'clock at Freeman Coliseum? It's fun. A lot of fun. If you don't win tickets, buy them. SanAntonioGunslingers.com. But let's give away that family 4-pack right now to caller number 9. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Caller 9, you're going to go see the Gunslingers take on Vegas, Freeman Coliseum this Saturday afternoon at 4 o'clock. More coming up here on The Blitz, here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You know me, you listen to this show enough, you know the Roo Pub is my go-to spot. Game 1 Sunday night, you know where you need to be? They're at the Roo Pub at 281 in Redland Road. With those 3 massive 170-inch screens, TVs all around, because there's no better place to go watch the Spurs in the postseason. Think back to 2013, 2014, and how much fun it was inside the Roo. We're going to get that again. Think about what it was like when the Spurs won the lottery to get Wemby. It was to set up nights like this at the Roo Pub. All those core memories made. They're at 281 in Redland Road. And when you get to the Roo Pub, go hungry because you know the food is fantastic, all made from scratch. They have the biggest and best wings in town, about 15 different burgers on the menu, including the original Wimby burger. Great salads, great appetizers, and that kitchen is open late every day with the full menu available. Happy hour weekdays from 11 to 6. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
Ahead of the field and throws it down with a right hand.
Your home for the NBA.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Ownwell. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ownwell.com/terms. Individual results may vary.
Ownwell has saved us over $2,000 in 2 years. Trying to protest your taxes on your own. It can drive somebody mad. Get onto Ownwell, create an account, input information about your house. They do everything for you, and it's amazing.
Your property taxes aren't set in stone. They can be reduced. Ownwell combines savvy technology and deep local expertise to save real estate owners real money. Plus, Ownwell handles everything from paperwork to negotiations and even attending hearings on your behalf. Ownwell saves you time and money. Want to see how much Ownwell can save you on your property taxes? Just enter an address and see your tax savings estimate. See how much you can save with Ownwell right now. Text HOME to 64,000. Text HOME to 64,000. That's HOME to 64,000.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-927-1086. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-927-1086. 800-927-1086. 800-927-1086.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
San Antonio Spurs season has come to an end. They would fall in their season finale against the Nuggets at home, 128-118. Helping the Nuggets secure the 3rd seed in the Western Conference. The Spurs, already locked into the 2 seed, will now wait the winner of the 7-8 matchup between Portland and Phoenix. That game will be tomorrow night at 9 o'clock.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 as San Antonio Sports Star. Joe Reinagel has the day off. I'm Jason Minix. Glad to have you along here on this Monday afternoon. Listening on the radio, online at sasportstar.com, one of the gazillion apps. If you're watching on YouTube, appreciate that. Go to YouTube. Search out San Antonio Sports Star. You can vote in the poll that we have today. Should NBA awards be about games played or minutes played? Right now, games, 68% to minutes, 32%. That after Wemby was doing some calculations in his head on Friday, which created a bit of a debate on social media and on some of the TV shows. Is it more important about minutes or games when it comes to the postseason honors? And quite honestly, to me, it's about games played. Adam Silver put that rule in to get superstar players to play in more games. When you look at the billions of TV money that the NBA is getting, those networks, whether it's Amazon, Peacock, ESPN, ABC, they're paying all that money for superstars to play a lot of games. Not give me 35 minutes in 50 games. They would much rather have 25 minutes over 65 games. You know what they'd really like is for you to show up to work. You got to work 82 nights a year. The idea that Wemby was like, I don't know, what do you think? 75% of the season?
If a guy plays 50 games, 35 minutes a game, that's 50 times 35, that's 1750, right? Am I right? Yeah. And if a guy plays 75 games at 20 minutes, it's 1,500. So, you know, it's not, I mean, it's a good view, in my opinion, to not have a limit. It's one opinion. 75% of the games, in my opinion, would be a logical thing, and that would be 61.5 games, right? So 62 games.
By the way, your math on all of those was spot on. Numbers like David Robinson. Of course, the alien gets it.
So,
you know, that's pretty damn impressive. But it also feels like he's thought about it. Now, I'm not doubting he wasn't doing the math in his head like that. I couldn't do it. But dude is brilliant. But it did create debate. Wemby last week got hurt in a game, left. And then he came back into the game, played just enough to qualify for that 15-minute exemption. Hard for me not to believe that he didn't go back into that game just to qualify. And then he had to play Friday night to get one more game, play at least 20 minutes for these postseason awards. He hit the minimum. He qualified. It's not like he exceeded. And there's debate. And so if they went to 62 games, well, what are we going to do when he's at 61 or 60? There are guys that are missing for a variety of reasons, and we're talking about the minimum. And I know it's not apples to apples, but do you imagine if your job let you work 75% of the time? And I realize injuries are a part of it. And I do wonder if whatever tweaks need to be made, and I do believe there will be some tweaks made because you have too many guys this year that are just ineligible. And it's not just MVP, it's the all-NBA teams. In the fact that money is tied to it. Now, I'm a little conflicted on tying the money to it, but like Tyrese Halliburton was on Pat McAfee today, said it cost him about $40 million. Now, again, if I'm Adam Silver, I want my superstars to play because that makes my TV partners happy, and those that spend hundreds of dollars to buy tickets to go watch them in person happy. Maybe tying the money to it is the right incentive. The difference between a max and a supermax. If that's $40 million, $50 million, well, maybe your ass will go play. And that's what Adam Silver is trying to do. And when you start doing the math the way Wemby is, go to work 75% of the time. Now, I realize there are real injuries. Wemby is not in the same category as Joel Embiid or Anthony Davis or Kawhi Leonard most years. So do they factor in some sort of sliding scale, kind of like they do for that in-season cup thing? Like Wemby got a free game because he played in the finals of the cup. Some of the, because the stats in that don't count. But is it one of those this many games plus this many minutes, or we all see the injury happen and that gets applied differently? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's asking too much for guys to work 75, 80% of the time. You know, that rest game that he had a couple weeks ago on the second night of a back-to-back? How much do you think he was regretting that when he got the bruised ribs? And again, we all saw that injury happen. Luka trying to find some sort of waiver, and I can't go with Luka because he missed one of his games because of a suspension for too many technical fouls. Can't have sympathy for that. A guy like Cade Cunningham, dude, you got a collapsed lung. Man, that sucks. Right? I mean, but no matter where you put the line, somebody's going to be on the wrong side of that line. But what is the right number? Or should it be a combination of games played or so many minutes? And once you're about 62 games, just going with Wemby's math, should it be 62 games or X number of minutes? 65 games plus minutes? I don't know what that answer is. I'm sure the NBA, the suits, and the Players Association will come up with something. But it's really not asking much to go to work 80% of the time, right? I just look at that and I'm like, we're talking about hitting the minimum. But when you look at the number of people that aren't qualified this year, you're going to have an all-NBA team that looks like, I don't know, Shedeur Sanders is a Pro Bowl quarterback. And so I do think I like the hard, fast rule. It almost affected our guy. Seems a little dumb, but at the same time, make the rule. But no matter where you put it, there's going to be somebody on the wrong side of it, and the debate will continue. But I do think there will be some sort of tweak this year, and it is a fair argument. Minutes played versus games played. But I look at from the NBA standpoint, they want to see their star players playing in more games, not fewer games, more minutes.
Last year, it was this rule came about in 23-4 season, right?
Yep, something like that.
We didn't have this conversation last year.
To a degree, but we didn't really. It wasn't a focus here because Wemby had missed too many games because of the blood clots. He would have been Defensive Player of the Year.
He would have, but the 65-game rule, we weren't really arguing because it was not close. This year, there are just more people that happen to have gotten injured, been suspended, whatever. What I'm saying is this an arbitrary one-off and we're trying to fix something that isn't broke already, or are we trying to be proactive?
You know, I think a combination of both. I think for us in San Antonio, Defensive Player of the Year went out the window when he got shut down for the season. And quite frankly, I don't know of a voter that would have voted him Defensive Player of the Year, whether that rule was in place or not, because he didn't play enough games. And SGA was such a runaway winner with the MVP that there probably wasn't as much conversation, certainly not here in San Antonio and not nationally, but I would imagine in some local markets there were probably some players that were close to getting something, because you're looking at all NBA teams, and that's the difference between the max and a super max, which is a whole lot of money. So I think maybe regionally it might have been more of a discussion than it was here, but this year you've got 3 legitimate candidates for MVP. Had Cade Cunningham been healthy, how much would he be a part of that conversation? Wemby fighting for it. So many guys. Joker played last night just to qualify. And it's not just for MVP, it's for the All-NBA. The idea that you look at all of it, I do think there's been enough discussion that they're going to tweak it one way or the other. What is the best way to tweak it? Is it a combination of, a little sliding scale? Here's the 65 games you're qualified, but if you're at 62 and you have 1,600 minutes, then you're in. I could see something along those lines, playing into it, because you look at like Luka played 2,200 minutes. Cade Cunningham's at 2,172. Devin Booker at 2,146. Anthony Edwards, 2,137. And right now, none of those guys are eligible. Wemby played 1,866 minutes, right? But he did get to 65. So, I mean, you look at LeBron James played 1,973 minutes. Didn't play enough games. So for the first time in forever, he won't be eligible for an All-NBA team. Would he have made it? I don't know. But he's not even eligible. It's kind of nuts when you look at it.
It's all over, whether it's ESPN or whatever it may be. And I keep wondering to myself, like, this wasn't a thing last year where, and to be fair, more bigger stars are at risk this year. And I understand that money is tied to it, but I'm pretty sure Luka's gotten All-NBA before. So it's not going to affect his next contract in that sense.
It's not, but when you look at a lot of the big-name guys that aren't even eligible, which is why it's a discussion because of the money part of it.
But that's why I'm wondering, is this a one-off? Because it wasn't this conversation last year. It wasn't. And maybe regionally it was something affecting maybe a Tyrese Halliburton or something. But for the most part, nationally, it was not talked about with the fervor it has been this year. So it just makes me wonder, are we trying to fix something that has already at least made its mark in terms of this is what Adam Silver wanted. He wanted you to want to play to have to get these awards.
Yep.
And it's worked.
Well, I mean, it has. And again, no matter where they move the number to, you're still going to have somebody that is going to be just short. You're right. This year seems like a lot of guys. And
is it a one-off?
Our attention spans are short.
They are.
Maybe it was a discussion last year in other cities and maybe nationally, but it didn't affect us in any way, so it didn't resonate. Who knows? Who knows? Let's talk about Rory and the greatness of Masters Sunday. Coming up here on the Blitz.
He's stealing my Lucky Charms.
On 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
First, though, I got to tell you and brag a little bit about my Connecticut Quality Water Softener. You know I love this thing. If you listen to the show, you know I do. Had it in my house now for several months, and I tell you what, I am just, some things you put in your house, you just happier than others. This is one of them. It is all as advertised. Everything Connecticut says this water softener does, it does. It is incredible. And I was a skeptic. I said, there's no way it could be any better than anything else I've ever had. It's head and shoulders better than anything else I have ever had. And the cherry on top is the reverse osmosis drinking station that you get for free when you buy a Connecticut Quality Water Softener. How does that benefit you? Well, I know, and I can see you right now, traveling home from your favorite grocery store, bringing that bunch of bottled water into your house and carrying that thing and unplugging it and put it in the refrigerator and then you got the mess of the bottled water. You don't have that anymore with the reverse osmosis drinking station. It's right there at your kitchen sink. You just fill up a glass and go on about your way. Not to mention the fact that Connecticut is still giving you free money. 0% interest for 12 months. That is an incredible deal. Don't wait any longer. Call Connecticut of San Antonio in South Texas. 656-PURE, 656-7873, or you can get them online at ConnecticutSA.com. And you know the jingle, sing it with me. It's the last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
All right, our Sports Star crew, listen up. If you want to keep winning in life like our San Antonio Spurs do on the court, head over to Game Day Men's Health. Cibolo Shirts or Alamo Ranch, the roster stacked with all-stars just like our Spurs. Experts trained in hormonal health, erectile dysfunction, weight loss, advanced peptide therapies. Why go to the G League when you can take your talents straight to the top, baby? Whether you're tired all the time, you've got low energy, maybe you've got some weight gain or the brain fog, maybe you need a little help in the bedroom. I'm not here to judge. They've got you covered. Their Hall of Fame team and services like testosterone replacement and peptide therapies will get you back in the game. Located in Alamo Ranch, or choose the Cibolo Shirts location on I-35 and 3009 across the highway from HEB. Call 830-376-9100 or visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com and book your appointment today. Win back your health, win back your life. It's game day. Let's go. That's 830-376-9100.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. Ethos.com/game. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Move over, Chips. There's a new crunchier MVP in the snack aisle. Enter pork rinds. Southern recipe pork rinds are low-carb, gluten-free, and packed with protein to keep you going. And the flavors, big, bold, crunchy. From sweet barbecue to hot honey, every bite brings that flavor-packed crunch you crave. Grab your favorites today at HEB or online at porkrinds.com. Southern recipe pork rinds are your snack time, crunch time hero.
Hi, I am Officer Sarai Walton with the San Antonio Police Department. SAPD is always hiring, and you can apply online if you think you have what it takes to become part of the SAPD family. Submit your application at sapdcareers.com. Once you submit your application, you will be contacted to begin the process. The San Antonio Police Department is always hiring. Start your journey to a rewarding career by applying online at sapdcareers.com. That is sapdcareers.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Coming up on the Morning Huddle, Portland and Phoenix. Who are the Spurs going to get in round one? We'll find that out tomorrow, and we'll know the saga of Rob's corn tooth. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The saga of Rob's corn tooth. Turns out I could have been there to witness that. Texting with Rob. Poor guy. Broke a tooth yesterday. He's already been to the dentist. Got his temporary crown. That sucks. Breaking a tooth sucks. There's nothing worse. Cracked a molar in half. Ouch. Had a root canal this morning. Temporary cap is on. It'll be good to go for tomorrow morning. And I say could have been there. Saturday night I was at a wedding. Started to feel bad. Thinking it was just allergies kind of being out in the middle of nowhere. Yesterday didn't feel great, but felt better. So I blew off going to the San Antonio Sports All-Star basketball games yesterday, which I was going to go, was planning to go. Really look forward to that. San Antonio Sports does an incredible job. Apparently that's where Rob broke his tooth, was at the basketball games. You can see Rob watching some All-Star basketball, eating popcorn, and break a tooth in a gym. Ouch. See, I didn't see that. You know, when you're not feeling great, nothing better than a day in the recliner watching the Masters, which turned out to be fantastic. I got to admit, now I would have gone to the All-Star game if I didn't feel like crap. But man, I'm glad I mean, because again, you're just sitting there watching TV, watching the Masters, and you had your typical Masters Sunday drama. It didn't look like we were going to have that going into the weekend because Rory had such a big lead. But man, did I want to say he come back to earth because he maintained, but a lot of people were catching up because he didn't extend. I mean, it would have sucked if he would have been, I don't know, 5, 6, 8 ahead. That you just had that drama all the way through, and dude becomes a back-to-back winner, and then talked about, man, dude, I did it again.
I thought it was so difficult to win last year because of trying to win the Masters and the Grand Slam, and then this year I realized it's just really difficult to win the Masters. I tried to convince myself it was both, but yeah, just incredible. You know, I obviously did the bulk of my work on Thursday and Friday, and you know, I don't think I would have believed anyone if they said to me, you know, all you have to do is shoot even par for the weekend and you'll win.
Exactly. Nobody thought that. And again, you look at Scotty Scheffler was so bad to start the tournament. The run he made over the weekend, especially yesterday, incredible. And if he birdied 17, my goodness, we go to a playoff. How cool would that have been? And yet Rory, you know, talked about just knowing Augusta so well.
Just keep going. You know, even... You know, I find myself in a very similar position today to where I was in the last round last year, you know, 2 or 3 behind. But I played solid golf after that. You know, I was 4 under for a 11-hole stretch there, which, you know, is what I needed to do to give myself that cushion going up the last. And, you know, I just tried really hard to focus on myself. I thought if I could get to 14 under, I thought that everyone else would struggle to get to that score, so that was the number I had in my head. I got to 13 on the last, and you know, had that 2-shot cushion, so didn't quite get there. But yeah, just keep going. Just keep, you know, keep your head down and keep going. And if you put the hours in and you work on the right things, eventually it'll come good for you.
Well, and that's it. And he did put the hours in, especially at Augusta. And I wanted to be mad at him. I mean, he's Rory. Hard to be mad at him. But instead of playing, I don't know, at the Valero Texas Open, instead of playing in Houston, dude did the old private jet life. He went and played Augusta a whole bunch over the last couple of weeks.
I honestly just don't like the 3 tournaments leading up to this event. I'd rather come up here. I did a couple of days where I dropped Poppy to school, flew up here, played, landed back home, and had dinner with her, or had dinner with Eric and Poppy. Like I did a couple of day trips like that where I felt like that was a better use of my time than going to Houston or San Antonio. So wasn't really about conserving energy, but I felt, the more time I could spend up here, the better.
Well, and again, I don't blame him for that. I want to be mad at him because he doesn't like coming to San Antonio, although he's been here a couple of times over the last several years, didn't come this year, and it resulted in a Masters win. Can't blame him for that. And so much is put on winning the Masters, especially for Rory, who finally got it done last year, his career Grand Slam. Now he's back-to-back Masters champ. And where he's at in the history of golf, certainly we're almost at the point where it's Rory against the field. And you look at, especially in these majors, he played so relaxed on Thursday and Friday. And because he got that monkey off of his back last year, it really is incredible when you think about what he was able to do. And I don't know how Augusta seems to always do it, but this weekend was not looking like we were going to have the Sunday finish that we ended up. But the course, the way it played, Scotty Scheffler and his run, some of the other guys that were up in that leaderboard, and Rory never just ran away with it the way we thought he might after the way he played Thursday and Friday, the way Tiger did, back in the day where, Sunday was just a formality. That wasn't the case. We had high-level golf. And sitting in the chair watching golf all afternoon, it was spectacular. Everything was great except for CBS's coverage. How does CBS, with the gazillion cameras they have there, struggle the way they did? Isn't CBS considered like the premier, like if you're watching golf, they know how to do it? I mean, they couldn't find his ball for a minute. In fact, Rory found his ball, and then there it is. I mean, there were a couple of times like that. It was weird, and I know CBS is getting hammered today, and I'm glad for that, because I was thinking the same thing. I mean, even the winning shot. What the hell angle was that? I mean, you've got a guy that's about to win the Masters, and you want the reaction, and you got a shot of his ass instead of his face? What was that, CBS? Now, I know they weren't responsible for my real issues yesterday. We had that hell of a storm. I lost power for about 20 minutes yesterday afternoon. And Rory had the lead when the power went out. When the power came back, Rory had lost the lead for that brief second. And I know it's not CBS's fault, but they never went back and kind of recapped it. Now, they didn't know that I lost power and I needed that recap, but you would have thought them telling the story throughout the day, they would have done that. And how I lost power yesterday, I have no idea. During the freeze a few years ago, we never lost power. I mean, I've lived in that house since January of 2020, and I've never lost power for as long as I did yesterday. I've had it blink and flash, but out for 20 minutes? What the hell's going on? And power comes back and Rory's not in the lead. What happened? And you know what else sucks when your power goes out? So does your Wi-Fi. I mean, I know it happens, but when you're not this sucks. That was a terrifying 20 minutes. And the fridge is beeping at you. The power's out. And I had to figure out how to reset that because I'd never seen that, heard that before. It was annoying as hell. All right, I know the power's out. Why is the fridge still beeping at me? How is it beeping at me? I don't know. It's kind of crazy. NBA playoffs are here. Spurs are in it. See, now my neighbor Hal, he just texted, they didn't lose power, but they lost Wi-Fi all night. How'd I lose power and my neighbor not? No idea. Kind of crazy. But I had Wi-Fi, and once the power came back, although he deals with Wi-Fi issues all the time. He won't change, but he should. But even like my buddy Andy, he texted me. His power was out longer than mine. Lives in the same general neighborhood. So I don't know how Hal kept power, but I know Andy lost power. I lost power. I think Andy's was out for about an hour, it seemed like.
Hal got a generator?
Does Hal have a generator? Probably not. Hal's got bigger issues. I didn't want to tell him Saturday night at the wedding. Lovely wedding, by the way. Saturday, I was doing some stuff in the backyard, and he's got 2 raccoons on his roof.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Those could be in the house.
They could be in the house. Yeah, the tree, and I looked up, and I saw them. I was like, oh, crap. Hal was going to go inside and get the phone, take a picture. I came back, they were gone. I don't know if they went in or back in the tree. But you see raccoons on your roof, man, you got problems. You got problems.
That's big-time problems.
Yeah, they could be big-time problems.
Expensive ones.
It's possible. It's possible. And they just paid for a wedding. The last thing he needs right now is raccoons in his ceiling. I can tell you that couldn't have been a cheap wedding.
Last thing you need is raccoons looking at you with those eyes in the middle of the night in the dark in your bed.
I was like, I saw him at the wedding. I was like, I can't tell him right now. I don't want to ruin his night. He'd be worried about it all night long. So I waited till yesterday. I don't think he gives a damn right now. He's just glad the wedding's behind him. But yeah, Hal, you got raccoons, dude. Let's talk some NBA playoffs coming up. But first, it is a Mellow Monday. Got a $50 gift card to give away to Mellow Mushroom, where the Blitz is going to be live next Monday on 420. Get it? Mm-hmm. So let's do caller number 20 right now. You get a $50 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. What'd I say, 20? Caller 20. You get a $50 gift card to Mellow Mushroom.
First, though, I got to tell you about Window Nation. I'm telling you what, I got one heck of an education the other day when the fine folks from Window Nation came in here and gave us a demonstration about just how important windows, quality windows, custom-made windows, because that's all Window Nation does, what it means to your house and your air conditioning, your heating, all of that kind of stuff. What I love about Window Nation, and the demonstration shows it perfectly, if it's cold outside, guess what? Those windows keep that cold outside. If it's hot outside, the windows keep that heat outside. Obviously, think about it. Your air conditioner, your heater, they just don't have to work as hard. You're going to save money in the long run. And right now, talking about saving money, they have a sale going on. It's called the More You Buy, the More You Save sale. In fact, you could save up to 50% off of all of your windows. Plus, you could get them with 0% interest for 5 years. That is one heck of a deal. You need to take advantage of this thing. And I'm going to tell you what, Window Nation believes in their windows so much, they provide a lifetime warranty. That's right. Anything happens to the life, they could be 20, 30 years old, doesn't matter. Something happens to them, Window Nation is going to take care of them. That's what their lifetime warranty means. Plus, they're rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau. You don't want to wait to put an end to your window problems. Get it taken care of, and get it taken care of by Window Nation and their great sale right now. The more you buy, the more you save sale is going on now. It will end, though. It has to. It's too good of a deal. Go to windownation.com. That's windownation.com.
Hey golfers, you could win a set of custom golf clubs from Flight by Yingling. Thank you to everyone who played in the sold-out 94-1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Tournament presented by Flight by Yingling. Now, imagine hitting the course with a set of custom clubs valued at $2,800 with a cold flight, 2.6 carbs, and 95 calories. Enter now at yingling.com/golf. No purchase necessary. Must be 21 or older. Flight by Yingling. Enjoy responsibly. DG Yingling & Sons, Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
I need a little ranch, step to the ranch, come on, meet me at the
Introducing the new Chick-fil-A Jalapeno Ranch Club Sandwich. With that juicy Chick-fil-A chicken on a buttermilk ranch bun, jalapeno ranch sauce, and pickled jalapenos, it's a little ranch with a lot of kick. The new Chick-fil-A Jalapeno Ranch Club with original spicy or grilled filet. Available for a limited time only. Order ahead on the Chick-fil-A app.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Smalls here. What if you could enjoy the flavor of a cocktail without the alcohol? Meet RK Zero Proof, a pioneer in the alcohol-free spirits category that delivers bold taste and a warming sensation, but with zero alcohol, zero sugar, zero carbs, and zero calories. So you can celebrate with friends, unwind after a long day, and wake up tomorrow feeling great. It's all the ritual of a drink without the regret. Discover RK at rkbeverages.com. That's ARKAY beverages.com. RK, the spirit without the alcohol.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jason Garrett with Augusta. If pain is slowing you down, you don't have to live with it. We target the source of your pain for fast, lasting relief. No pain pills, no surgery. Most patients notice results in just one visit. We accept most insurance plans, so getting help is easy. Don't wait. Visit Augusta.com today. That's AIRROSTI.com. Augusta. We fix pain fast.
To find the location nearest you, visit airrosti.com.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
This Thursday, the Blitz is taking over Novo Brewery. We're hosting the Business Networking International April Mixer, food specials, drink specials, and your chance to network with business professionals across San Antonio. It's Novo Brewery attached to North Star Mall Thursday, beginning at 2 o'clock.
Hornitos 100% agave tequila isn't for the few, but for the many. To pour with friends and friends of friends. For you, for me, for everyone. Hornitos, the tequila de todos.
100% agave tequila for 100% of tequila lovers. Hornitos Tequila, 40% alcohol volume, 2026 Salsa Tequila Import Company, Chicago, Illinois.
Progressive's Home Quote Explorer helps you easily find and buy the right coverage for you. It's everything you've always wanted. Well, I mean, as far as a website that lets you shop, quote, and buy insurance in one place. But hey, maybe that is everything you've always wanted. Yeah, people have different types of dreams. And if all you've ever been searching for is a website that helps you choose home insurance rates and coverage, boy, do we have great news about Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Dave Ramsey here. The only water softener I recommend is a quality water softener from Connecticut. It really is the last water softener you'll ever own.
ConnecticutSA.com.
And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
Let's be honest. Watching the Rangers is better when you got something on the line. On Rangers game days, call your shot with the morning huddles. Rangers double dinger payday. Play ball! Pick the Ranger you think will send one into the seats. He hits one, you're going to a Rangers game. He hits two, now you've just been upgraded. Tickets and a hotel stay. That's what we call getting paid. Wake up with the morning huddle. Make your pick and win with the morning huddle's Rangers double dinger payday. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the Texas Rangers.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Jason Minix. Joe Reinagel has the day off. He'll be back tomorrow. In fact, the Blitz tomorrow will be live at NAW, Northwest Automotive Warehouse there on Calabria Road, 2 to 6, getting you ready for Fiesta. We'll have SeaWorld tickets to give away. Hats, no hats, T-shirts, and other stuff. It's always a fun time with the good people there at NAW. Come see us tomorrow. If you're over by Calabria Road, maybe you need to scout parking locations for Oyster Bake happening. Man, I can't believe it's already Fiesta time. It is Fiesta time. And it coincides with playoff time in San Antonio for the first time in what feels like forever. And I know I'm this way. Like, Candlebox is playing Oyster Bake this year. A lot of people, you going? I don't know. Now that I know game one will be Sunday night at 8 o'clock, I can go. Then you look at ticket prices. Yeah, $30. That's not bad. VIP tickets are $150. What the hell are you getting for $150 when a regular ticket is just $30? A better porta potty? I mean, that's a lot for Candlebox. I don't know. We'll see. I think it comes with a Fiesta medal. Woo! Yeah, a lot going on. Let's talk some NBA playoffs since they are now set. Now, the play-in tournament stuff starts tomorrow. For us in San Antonio, we'll all be paying attention tomorrow night to the Phoenix-Portland game. Because the winner of that game, the 7-8 play-in game, will get the San Antonio Spurs in game one. You also have in the play-in Golden State against the Clippers. Whoever wins that will get the loser of that game to see who gets to play Oklahoma City. On the east side, Orlando and Philly and Miami and Charlotte in the play-in. And the way they do that, I know we know how it's done. It's just weird. But now that we're in it, we got to pay attention a little bit more. And I say we're the Spurs, right? So there's only 4 matchups that have been set because the 1 and 2 seeds are waiting to find out who their opponent's going to be. And typically when you're looking at the 1 and 2, it's usually just a formality. You've got Denver and Minnesota in the 3-6 matchup. Lakers and Rockets in the 4-5 when you're looking at the West playoffs. Unless I know Luka's status, hard to say that the Lakers have a chance. I mean, LeBron James might get them 1. But not more than that. Now, if Luka's there, that could be a pretty competitive series. That could actually be a pretty fun series to watch. No Luka, Lakers have no chance. Not with LeBron at his age. Rockets, on the other hand, have been playing really good basketball down the stretch. And when you look at the star power that they have there in Houston, they could be dangerous. I think we're all going to say that Denver's going to beat Minnesota. But this is a Timberwolves team that has gone to the conference finals the last couple of years. So we'll see. Denver, obviously, playoff tested. And I know at least last night it felt like some people were tweeting me about being mad at the Spurs for losing that game because that allowed Denver to stay as the 3 seed with their win over San Antonio. Who cares? All right? I mean, seriously, who cares? It just tells me the Spurs don't give a damn. They're not afraid of anybody. Right? I mean, Mitch Johnson said, man, they weren't chasing that game last night.
I mean, definitely was, Steph's first game back. And, everybody's just beating down a couple bodies. We weren't going to play anybody 40 minutes. We weren't going to chase a game in terms of trying to overplay guys. So just try to play to the best of our abilities and different combinations and whatnot.
And I saw something this morning on TV. Did the Spurs mess up? No. I mean, granted, all right, to get to the NBA Finals, you're going to have to play Denver and Oklahoma City, where if you had won the game last night, you would avoid both of those teams until the Western Conference Finals, so you only have to play one of them. I mean, I get where you're coming from, but I also got to believe that the Spurs have looked at all of this and they decided either they're not afraid or bring them on. One of the two. But they weren't chasing a win last night. And Wemby sat. Now, if Wemby would have played, you could have said, all right, man, they're really doing everything they can to avoid the Denver Nuggets. I don't know. The East side, Knicks and Hawks are set in the 3-6, and you've got the Cavs and Raptors in the 4-5 matchup. Obviously, Detroit's going to get, as the 1 seed, either the Hornets, the Heat, and the loser of the Sixers Magic game. The winner of that one goes to Boston. And that's one thing when you look at the Athletic, they put out a player poll. And they do the anonymous poll. Who is going to win at the NBA Finals other than your own team? Oklahoma City got 50% of the votes. San Antonio, 25.3. Boston, 8.2. Denver, 7.5. ESPN's got a deal out today. Odds to make the finals. And I just looked at the Western Conference because that's what I care about. Oklahoma City at 61.9. San Antonio at 30.7. Denver at 4%. And when I look at that, it really does tell me that over the last 2 months with the Spurs players just playing this incredible level of basketball, everybody has just taken and dismissed the idea that you have to get your playoff battles out of the way. You got to have some heartbreak. You got to get those scars before you can go win a title. I think they're looking at this team objectively and saying, that is one hell of a basketball team, and they are deep. Mitch Johnson, is he perfect? No. It will be his first time as a playoff head coach. How is he going to shorten the bench? What are the rotations going to be like? Wemby with more physical play, how is he going to handle that? Are the bright lights, the big stage, going to be too much for some of these guys? I mean, we've seen it through time. Teams don't get together and go win a championship when they have zero playoff experience. All right. Peel back the onion. Steph Castle won at UConn, won a national title. Wemby in the Olympics. I mean, you can make arguments, or you could just watch this team play and go, that's a damn good basketball team. Who's going to beat them 4 times? Well, Denver says, hold my beer. All right. I mean, it's a nutty stat, but the Spurs finished the season 30-4. That's their record since February 1. 0-3 against the Nuggets, 30-1 against everybody else. Kind of nuts when you think about it that way. Although I'd rather have the problem of, well, we don't have playoff experience, what's going to happen? As Pledge points out, Wemby didn't play in 2 of those games against Denver, and that's true.
Only played in 1 against them at all.
And they should have won, but they didn't. De'Aaron Fox, who also missed 3 threes at the end of last night's game, rushing them.
I'm just starting to feel about this Spurs team like when you say, Ohio State quarterbacks suck, or, yeah, they do until they don't, you know? It's just one of those, yeah, you can keep saying no team that is going into their first postseason together is ever going to win a championship until that one team comes through and does it.
Well, and that's it. And could this team be that team? And we'll find out, over the next several weeks. And hopefully it is several weeks. We get to talk about this great Spurs team. And we'll see if the playoff inexperience is a factor, right? I mean, you look at Phoenix and Portland. And Phoenix has given the Spurs some issues, but that was like November. I think the Spurs are a little bit better. But you look at Devin Booker, you look at the Phoenix Suns, they've got some playoff experience. You look at Portland. I don't think that would be much of a test. I'm not a big believer in picking sweeps, but that might be in 3.
Which is fine. I want this team to make a statement. I want this team to show that they belong. And beating up on a team you do.
Well, and that's the beauty of the growth of this Spurs team. earlier in the year, they played up to their level of competition or they played down to it. Wemby had a great line, paraphrasing. He said, the good thing about our team is, we play to our competition. We're not eye to eye with everybody. And since February, they have played like a dominant basketball team. I mean, did they chase last night? No. Should they have? No. Were they going to risk Wemby? No. Was it a competitive game? Yeah. But it also tells me they're not worried about the Denver Nuggets. And the attitude of, we're in the playoffs, seeding doesn't matter. I mean, how many times over the years do we hear that from Greg Popovich? You're going to play good teams in the playoffs. The Rockets, the way they're playing right now, are they that much better or worse than the Denver Nuggets in the second round? Probably not. I mean, the Lakers, because of injuries, but if Luka comes back, I know they're still without Austin Reeves, but Luka, motivated, playoffs, in shape, Hammy's good. I mean, the European doctors work their magic, however they're going to fix his hamstring over there. I mean, we'll see. I mean, playoffs are going to be a fun battle no matter what.
You can argue going into the postseason, Lakers, Spurs, and Thunder were the three hottest teams in all of the NBA, just peaking at the right time with how well they all played going down the stretch.
Absolutely. And look, it's been so long since the Spurs have been in the postseason. And I know it's hard to say this now, just enjoy the ride because it's gravy. But you think about what our expectations were at the beginning of the year to what this year has turned into. Sure, we've moved the goalposts on what expectations are and what's considered a great season, because we'll revisit what it was like back in November. Coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First, though, let me tell you about Synergenics and Low T Center, because if you're looking for TRT that is flexible enough for your lifestyle, then you need to get into Synergenics and Low T Center. You can choose testosterone shots, pills, enclomiphene, the boosting testosterone without affecting fertility. They have that there, if I said that right. You can get your treatment in the clinic or even have your testosterone shipped to your door. You can even choose self-pay or insurance coverage for the payment option that works best for you. And right now, Synergenics and Low T Center, they're offering new treatment options, including PT-141, an FDA-approved libido-boosting peptide, new antioxidants, GLP-1 pills, and more. Synergenics and Low T Center provide testosterone replacement therapy and hormone replacement therapy tailored to your body, your lifestyle, and your budget. When hormones are imbalanced, patients feel fatigue, low sex drive, mood changes, body changes. Balancing your hormones means living a better, healthier life. Testosterone is also important for women. It helps boost energy, confidence, drive, and more. Doses for women are very careful so they can help you meet your goals. Explore your treatment options that work with your lifestyle and your budget by booking that free T-test now at lowtcenter.com or Synergenics.com, Synergenx.com.
Riding 410 with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com.
Trying to keep up with today's fast-changing digital landscape, with more ways to consume content than ever before, it is getting harder to reach your customers. You need more than just a presence. You need the experts at Conrex Digital. We craft websites that convert. We curate engaging content on social and block channels. We generate quality leads through Google and Meta. We dominate your competition on streaming TV. Bold marketing, real results. Conrex Digital makes it happen. Visit conrexdigital.com. That's conrexdigital.com.
Almost 90 years ago, Academy Sports and Outdoors was born right here in Texas. So we know a thing or two about a thing or two. Like beans don't belong in Chile. It's called a feeder road. And how far really means how long. We've been your neighbor for generations. That's why we're adding Texas-sized deals across the store, only in Texas. If you happen to find a better price at a competitor, we'll beat it by 5%. Academy. Fun can't lose.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for more than 50 years. Went to grade school, high school, and graduated from law school right here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after serious injury and fatality collisions since 1994. My website is alawyerforus.com. Why a lawyer for us? Well, after several years of practice, I watched as insurance companies created their own law firms solely to defend against auto claims. Today, there are very few insurance companies that do not have their own captive law firm filled with attorneys whose job is to minimize what the insurance company has to pay on an auto claim. If you or a family member is injured in a traffic collision, you will need your own attorney. Just remember alawyerforus.com. For many lawyers you see on billboards, your case will be handled by a non-lawyer or a staff lawyer. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. The initial consultation is always free. If you or a family member needs an experienced attorney you can trust, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 900-0400. That's 210-900-0400 or alawyerforus.com.
Shh, here it comes. Surprise! The people above your catering business are doing major construction, and the drilling is only during business hours. It's so loud.
Progressive knows small business owners usually don't like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting personalized discounts on a commercial auto quote with Progressive.
Also, that isn't powdered sugar on the floor. It's plaster from your ceiling.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
DQ presents the Blizzard Double Flip Deal. For a limited time, when you buy one Blizzard treat, you get a second for just 99 cents. That's 2 Blizzards, 2 spoons, 2 flavors, and 2 flips. So don't miss out on the Blizzard Double Flip Deal, available only for a limited time and happening now at DQ. Because the only thing better than a Blizzard treat is a second Blizzard treat for just 99 cents. It's a deal to flip for. The Blizzard Double Flip Deal. Get it in the app. Participation may vary.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Make that 2 straight for Rory McIlroy as he wins at Augusta, the 4th ever player to go back-to-back, the first since Tiger Woods back in 01-02. Scotty Scheffler just finished 1 off the pace at 11 under in second. The San Antonio Spurs, well, they're waiting on their first playoff opponent. It'll be decided tomorrow night at 9 when Portland takes on Phoenix.
Sports Center brought to you by SAPDcareers.com. The San Antonio Police Department is always hiring.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the 3rd time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Glad to have you along on a Monday afternoon. I'm Jason Minix. Joe Reinagel off today. He'll be back tomorrow. Spurs in the playoffs. They had the day off today, that practice tomorrow, and we know game 1 is going to be on Sunday, 8 o'clock on Sunday. You know, this weekend, Bob Mills Furniture was doing a promotion. It's been more than the weekend, but I was there this weekend and bought new furniture. Something my wife has wanted to do since we took down the Christmas stuff. But then, you know, her job has her working in North Carolina for a couple months, so the furniture shopping's on hold. Well, she was in town this weekend. She knew about the promotion at Bob Mills Furniture, so Creates a little urgency. We need new furniture. It might be free. How confident are you that they're going to win the championship? So I got new furniture over the weekend. New recliner, new couch, an area rug. It will be delivered on Saturday. So between now and Saturday, I have to figure out how to get rid of an old couch. I haven't figured. I'm not that far ahead yet. But in doing some stuff yesterday before she left, or Saturday, just getting stuff knowing that we've got this new furniture coming, she found this newspaper because I kept it because I knew I was going to need this at this point of the year. I say that. It was a lucky find. It's perfect timing. But if you're watching on our YouTube page, the Spurs season preview in the San Antonio Express News. Sunday, October 19th of 2025. And I was reading it. And my goodness, it's fun to do this. Because I know I've got a ticket from Vegas where I had the Spurs at 42.5 wins. I will cash that, baby. But I think on this show, I had them like at 47, 48. They weren't going to get to 50, was my prediction. And they were going to be a play-in team, although I'd have been thrilled if they actually got into the playoffs, 5th or 6th seed. That was the ceiling. Mine, yours, everybody else's. So I'm reading the Spurs playoff preview today. Mike Finger's column. It's time to see how things could turn out. And it's Mike Finger's crystal ball. And damn dude is spot on to a degree. Because we would have been thrilled if this would have been true. He had the Spurs at 46-36. 8th in the Western Conference. Losing to the Houston Rockets in the first round 4-2. Wemby wins Defensive Player of the Year, 4th in the MVP voting. If that would have happened, we would have been thrilled. Jeff McDonald, a great article on the headline, Playoff Hopes Rest Largely on Wembanyama. Yep. Tom Mooresborn with an article, Harper, Bryant, poised to make immediate impact. Yep, that happened. I mean, it's fun to look back because, quite honestly, this is where you're happy to be wrong. Nobody saw the Spurs putting together the season that they did. Bet Online had the Spurs predicted win total on October 16th at 44.5. They, of course, finished with 62 wins. An NBA best 17.5 game difference from what's predicted. Biggest overachiever. And now I'm curious for you guys. I know the goalpost has moved. But no matter what happens in the postseason, before the Spurs play game 1, do you still consider this a successful season? Or are you disappointed if they don't make the Western Conference Finals? Are you disappointed if we're not having a championship parade? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. If you're watching on YouTube, you can always comment there on the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. I'm looking at this, and this has been a great year. Far better than expectation. But at the same time, I think it's okay to be disappointed if they're not in the Western Conference Finals. Like, if they get bounced in the first round, I think I'll be mad as hell. Second round, less mad. But it's okay to change that goalpost, if you will. But I think there is a difference that you can have on what's disappointing and what you consider a successful year. Because this year has by far been successful, a great regular season. But as a Cowboy fan, I know great regular seasons don't mean a damn thing if you don't have any success in the postseason. But it is funny when you're talking to people around town how different Spurs fans are gauging success at this point. Because I've asked that question at bars lately or hanging out with friends. And then I say, yeah, but what did you think they were going to do at the beginning? So what's different? Because they had a far better regular season. But can't this still be a great regular season or a great season? Because it is ahead of schedule. Ahead of the schedule that most everybody thought they were on. And I dare say probably including the San Antonio Spurs. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Greg, you're on the Blitz. What's going on, man?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. Thank you for taking me, man. I really appreciate the work y'all do. Y'all do great on the talk. I hear y'all every day on my way to work. That's where I'm at right now.
Appreciate you.
But I do want to say, I was on the same boat. I was like, man, if we can at least make the 6th seed, I'll be super stoked, super pumped, ready to go. And obviously, they overachieved that. But as long as Victor stays healthy in these playoffs, regardless of where we lose, to be honest, as a diehard Spurs fan, if he stays healthy, I'm happy with regardless of what happens. Thank you for taking my call, man. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you. I mean, I'm curious because that's far different than most Spurs fans. Now, granted, if there's an injury, all right, there goes those chances. Kind of like how Laker fans are feeling right now. Thought they had a chance. Luke is hurt. Reeves is hurt. You're relying on LeBron. You know you don't have a shot. But if healthy, and it's okay for that to change. That's the beauty of sport. It can change. It does change. And you'll be disappointed in the moment, sure. But when you look back on it, I think it's safe to say this season has far exceeded anybody's expectations. It's going to be interesting, going to be fun. Cannot wait for the playoffs to get started. Game 1 on Sunday night. I think people might be a little bit more disappointed with the MVP results. And, of course, the player threshold conversation. That continues. We'll talk about that coming up. That's part of our poll question, too, if you're watching on YouTube. Should NBA awards be about games played or minutes played? Right now, games played, leading minutes played 70-30. Let's debate that as we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You know, injuries do happen, and when they do, you can skip the ER and get straight to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains, conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday. They have everything you need. On-site x-ray, casting, and bracing. The best of all, though, no urgent care or emergency room copay. So if you're injured, get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic. Learn more online at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com.
Got a buddy who thinks he knows baseball? Perfect. On Rangers game days, prove it with the Morning Huddle's Rangers Double Dinger Payday. Pick the Ranger you think will launch it out of here. He hits one, you and a friend are headed to a Rangers game. He hits two. Now, you've got tickets and hotel. Yeah, you're making a night of it, and your buddy's buying the first round. Wake up with the Morning Huddle. Call your shot and win the Morning Huddle's Rangers Double Dinger Payday. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the Texas Rangers.
Taste of the Northside, presented by H-E-B, on Thursday, April 23rd at 6 p.m. at the Rocket La Cantera. Enjoy tastings from over 50 local restaurants, plus premier wine, cocktails, cold beers, and live entertainment for one all-inclusive price. All proceeds benefit Brighton Center, serving children with disabilities and developmental delays in San Antonio. Tickets can be purchased at tasteofthenorthside.org. Viva Fiesta!
Dave Ramsey here. The only water softener I recommend is a quality water softener from Connecticut. It really is the last water softener you'll ever own.
ConnecticutSA.com.
And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Ownwell. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ownwell.com/terms. Individual results may vary.
Ownwell has saved us over $2,000 in 2 years. Trying to protest your taxes on your own. It can drive somebody mad. Get onto Ownwell, create an account, input information about your house. They do everything for you, and it's amazing.
Your property taxes aren't set in stone. They can be reduced. Ownwell combines savvy technology and deep local expertise to save real estate owners real money. Plus, Ownwell handles everything from paperwork to negotiations and even attending hearings on your behalf. Ownwell saves you time and money. Want to see how much Ownwell can save you on your property taxes? Just enter an address and see your tax savings estimate. See how much you can save with Ownwell right now. Text HOME to 64,000. Text HOME to 64,000. That's HOME to 64,000.
In a world in need of a hero, one man rises to the challenge in style. He is...
just driving the kids to soccer practice.
Make every day feel epic in the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid with up to an EPA-estimated 619 miles of range on select trims, advanced tech, and class-leading interior space. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
And hey, come on, no cleats on the seats.
Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select Oil Filter for just $32.99 now at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hello, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio and have been practicing law here since 1994. And in the past 30-plus years, I've helped hundreds of San Antonians injured by negligent drivers. If you've been injured in a car or truck collision, call me, 210-900-0400. I did want to let you know of a very disturbing trend I've seen that you really need to be aware of. If an attorney or someone acting on that attorney's behalf calls you after a traffic collision, with very limited exceptions, that is called barratry or solicitation. It's a crime and is unethical under our state bar rules. Do not answer these phone calls. Do not hire an unethical attorney. Neither I nor anyone in my firm will ever call you after a traffic collision. If you need my help, and if you've been injured in a traffic collision, I think you do, you'll need to call me. My name is Jason Thompson. My number is 210-900-0400, or go to my website, alawyerforus.com.
Playoff time in San Antonio. Been way too long since we've had this feeling. It's fun. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Ryan Eagle has the day off. I'm Jason Minix. You know, as we get ready for NBA postseason awards, a lot of debate on MVP. Wemby, certainly in the mix. Yahoo's Kevin O'Connor writes today, should be the easiest vote in history, and it was until he went to vote. Should be SGA, but he voted for Wemby. And he's got a great article today that details why Wemby over SGA. Votes don't have to be in until tomorrow before the first play-in game. Unless they extend it, one of the voters told me today they're waiting on whether Luka is going to be eligible or not. So we'll see. But the deadline should be tomorrow. Ballots went out at the end of the regular season, and they got to be submitted prior to the first play-in game, which is happening tomorrow. Wemby's obviously going to win Defensive Player of the Year. I think Keldon Johnson is a runaway winner for Sixth Man of the Year. And if those that haven't voted yet read the Players Tribune today, Keldon Johnson states his case. Keldon Johnson, I just retweeted this at Jason Minix, with a great article in the Players Tribune, the Cowboy. And you might have noticed over the last couple of days, a lot of articles about him on his ranch out near Bernie. He took a bunch of media out there. I know Tom Morsborn was out there. Jared Weiss from The Athletic was out there. Michael C. Wright from ESPN. And this article that Keldon Johnson has in the Players Tribune, very well done, talking about his journey. The hard conversation with Pop about going to the bench. And how special this group is. And he writes, fast forward to summer of 2024, and I got to thinking back on my first couple years here in San Antonio and how I could get that spark back, get back to being me. That's when I started to see the bigger picture. We had picks. There were all these signs that we were building something that was going to be special. All these bright green flags, but there was one big red flag, me. In that moment, I had to take a hard look in the mirror. And, man, I got embarrassed. I hated that feeling that I had let my vets down and especially let my younger teammates down. The organization believed in me since day one. And, you know, we've talked about that a lot on this show over the course of this season. Mitch Johnson, not Greg Popovich, Mitch Johnson got Keldon Johnson to buy into his role about being the sixth man. Mitch Johnson got Devin Vassell to buy into his role that he was no longer the best player on the team, that he was not the first option. Because at one point, Keldon Johnson was the best player on this team. And at one point, Devin Vassell became the best player on this team and the number one scoring option. And Devin Vassell now is maybe the fourth best player on this team. But he's bought into that role. Keldon Johnson has bought into his role, which is why Keldon Johnson is going to win Sixth Man of the Year. He writes in the Players Tribune, the best way I can describe our group is like a rodeo. Everybody on the team has their own unique vibe and personality, and when it all comes together, it's just wild, and we thrive off that. We thrive off that chaotic energy of yelling and screaming and laughing and joking 24/7, and on the floor, it turns into something special. And he goes on to write that this team is super tight and so good. He says, quote, as a matter of fact, I don't even mind saying it because we truly believe it. We think we're the best team in the NBA. Let's go down the list. Start with the big fella, blah, blah. I mean, really, really good article. Really good article by Keldon Johnson in the Players Tribune. He ends it with, I said our group is like a rodeo, right? Well, I don't know if you've ever seen a real one, but it's not for the weak. You've got to be fearless. You got to get up on that bull knowing that you might fall off. Matter of fact, you're almost guaranteed to fall off. You might get dragged through the mud a little bit. You might bust your ass. Just got to have a little courage to get back up. We're in the ring now. Let's go. Dude, you ready for the playoffs? Keldon Johnson's ready for the playoffs. And the fact that he would write that at the start of the postseason, regular season ends yesterday, and he's saying, yeah, we're the best team. They believe they're the best team. And there's zero fear in this group. There is zero fear in this group. When you look at the Spurs is the 2 seed, and nobody saw this coming, including this group. They're special. And I'm curious, when it's all said and done, when as a group they realized, you know what? They have a chance to go win the whole damn thing. Because nobody had these kind of expectations. Probably not even in that locker room. You look at their record from the beginning of February. Was it the rodeo road trip? I mean, for years under Greg Popovich, when they first built the then SBC Center and the Spurs had to go on the annual rodeo road trip, that was always the bonding time. That was flip the switch, it's playoff time. Could it be the same here? Because, man, they've been unstoppable since that time.
They have mentioned before in interviews that they've talked about their goals having changed throughout the season.
Sure. I mean, and they have. I mean, the idea that this group could go win a championship without having any playoff scars, it doesn't happen in the NBA. But it really feels like this group is saying, why not us? And why not? Why not us? I mean, Steph Castle said last night they've been in playoff mode for a while.
Yeah, I mean, if we were just flipping to playoff mode now, then we'd probably be in trouble. So, yeah, we've been kind of flipped our minds towards that, and yeah, I mean, we expect to make a long run in it.
Well, and again, they expect to make a long run in it. They expect it. I don't know if they would have said that same thing around Christmas time. And their goals have changed just like our expectations as fans have changed. Although I think most fans and guys doing what I do, caution, teams don't go win a championship without going through the playoff battles. Look at Oklahoma City as an example. Best record, 1 seed, and bounced. Next year they come back and win a title. But like Keldon Johnson writes, everybody has bought in to their goals, their roles. Keldon coming off the bench. Devin Vassell doing what Devin does. And Mitch Johnson even said, Devin Vassell is going to be a key part of this playoff run.
I think he's the one guy on our team who can float back and forth between shooter and scorer in terms of his role, depending on the lineup or a given night. And that's very valuable, especially as we expect defense to tighten up and game plans to become more thorough and more nuanced. So he'll be a vital part.
He will be. I mean, all these guys, Julian Champagny is going to be a vital part of the postseason. Dude's going to have to hit his three-pointers, and most people aren't talking about Julian. And that's all right. You talk about a guy who has found a role. Everybody here playing for the Spurs organization has their role, and they understand and seemingly embrace their role. Starts with Wemby. I don't know that last year Devin understood that. I certainly know in his rookie year Devin didn't understand that. De'Aaron Fox doing what he does. Steph Castle, defense first, offense is coming. It is pretty incredible, but this Players Tribune article by Keldon Johnson, it's pretty solid. If that doesn't get you fired up for the postseason, if you're not already fired up for the postseason, this might make you run into HEB and buy a damn car flag.
It's a great read, and it's not too long either.
No, I mean, thank God. But it is interesting when you look at where it started, where it is now, and what the ending could be. And, that chapter of the book is still yet to be written. I mean, that's the beauty of sports. We don't know how this is going to end. We don't. I mean, this has been kind of a fairy tale season for the San Antonio Spurs, if we're going with a literary analogy there, because at the beginning of the year, be above 500, be in the postseason, some sort of postseason, whether it's play-in experience or making the actual playoffs. This team needed this. And it's okay to change the goals and move the goalpost on expectation when you see what this team is doing. But the no fear in this Spurs team, it was on display last night. I mean, beat Denver in that regular season finale, and they're the 4th seed, and you don't have to face them until the Western Conference Finals, and that means they would have beaten Oklahoma City along the way. Cool? The way it looks now is you probably have to play Denver in the second round and OKC in the Western Conference Finals if everything goes chalk. And, the Spurs said, we don't give a damn. It doesn't matter who we're playing. We're going to go do it. Mitch Johnson said as much last night. They weren't chasing that victory last night.
I mean, definitely was, Steph's first game back. And, everybody's just beating down a couple bodies. We weren't going to play anybody 40 minutes. We weren't going to chase a game in terms of trying to overplay guys. So just try to play to the best of our abilities and different combinations and whatnot.
I just look at this and it's like, man, the attitude. I mean, doesn't matter who they're playing. I mean, is there a smooth road in the postseason? No. Is one less bumpy than the other? Maybe. The Spurs clearly sent a message last night that they weren't dodging anybody, that they don't fear anybody. They sat Wemby. They could have played him. I mean, Wemby said Friday night he wasn't sure if he was going to play. Now, was he being honest? I'm trying to think of when Wemby hasn't seemingly been honest at the podium. But what Wemby said Friday night after he became eligible for postseason awards, he might have played. The staff was going to get together and try to figure out what is the best course for this Spurs team. They sat Wemby. But in that game last night, they didn't stretch anybody's minutes. They weren't chasing it. If they end up with Denver in the second round, bring them on. That's what they were saying. And Denver, trying to get to the third seed, to get San Antonio in the second round, because experience matters in the postseason. Or does it? It's going to be fun to talk about. Now, those postseason awards, that's another conversation in its entirety. We'll get into that coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. But first, and they're showing Dick Vitale on TV right now, 86 years old. Dick announced today, Dick Vitale, that he's got yet another cancer. He plans on fighting this one like he has the others. He says he's 4 for 4 against cancer, trying to be 5 for 5 at 86 years old. Man, cancer sucks. But to go through it for a fifth different kind. He certainly knows what he's up against, and he's been down that road before. Wish him nothing but the best in his courageous battles. And hopefully it is 5 for 5 for Dick Vitale. He does write in his post that he does plan on being at his gala that is coming up on May 1st, where they have raised over $100 million for pediatric cancer through the years and have a goal of about $12 million this year. Hopefully they get it. But man, hate seeing that about Dickie V. I really do. I know y'all do too. It just sucks. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. We got a family 4-pack of tickets to give away to go see the San Antonio Gunslingers take on Vegas Saturday afternoon, 4 o'clock inside of Freeman Coliseum. You want that family 4-pack? Be caller number 9 right now. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Again, caller number 9, a 4-pack of tickets to go see the San Antonio Gunslingers. If your house is smelling a little bit off, might actually be your AC, not socks under the couch. You need to call my friends over at Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC because they've created what they are calling a Breathe Easy package to get that funk out of your system. See, what Quartermoon will do is they are going to pull and deep clean your blower motor, blower wheel, and your AC housing, clean the coil, disinfect the inside of your AC cabinet. Then they install the cool UV light to zap bacteria and other nasty stuff that's hiding in your unit. You're going to get cleaner air, a fresher home, and an AC system that smells like it should. They call it the Breathe Easy package. So call Quartermoon, 210-651-5899, 651-5899. And, of course, if you're dealing with any kind of emergency situation with your AC or your plumbing, they are the best. 210-651-5899 or online at quartermoonplumbing.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Coming up on the Morning Huddle, Portland and Phoenix. Who are the Spurs going to get in round 1? We'll find that out tomorrow, and we'll know the saga of Rob's corn tooth. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi, everybody. It's Joe Reinagel. You know, now is a great time of year to get your roof inspected and ready for our crazy spring weather. Be it hot, cold, rain, or hail. Who knows what Mother Nature has in store for us this year? Call Stevens Roofing at 210-785-0994. You know, your roof protects your home and your family. A quality roof overhead means comfort, confidence, and certainly peace of mind. Now is the time to get your roof ready for spring. Call Stevens Roofing at 210-785-0994 or go to stevensroofing.net.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text SPARK to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text SPARK to 215-215. That's SPARK to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Harry Douglas here. Let me ask you something. What if you can enjoy the taste of a cocktail, the warmth of a spirit, and still stay fully in control? That's RK Zero Proof, a pioneer in the alcohol-free spirits category. RK delivers bold flavor and a real warming sensation with zero alcohol, zero sugar, zero carbs, and zero calories. Perfect for nights out, social gatherings, or anytime you want the experience of a drink without sacrificing tomorrow. Check it out at rkbeverages.com. That's ARKAY beverages.com. RK, all the flavor, none of the alcohol.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
If you don't care about saving 50% off your wireless bill for the same 5G coverage the big guys are charging a fortune for, maybe you care about keeping jobs in America. Pure Talk does. They've pledged to run their entire operation from this country, including all their customer service. Or maybe you care about our nation's veterans. Pure Talk does. They've donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to America's Warrior Partnership, a fantastic organization working hard to prevent veteran suicide. Or maybe you care about closing America's skills gap. Pure Talk does. They're a proud supporter of MicroWorks. They're helping my foundation train the next generation of skilled workers. Don't get me wrong, saving money's great, and you'll save plenty with Pure Talk. But if you want to be in business with people who share your values, dial pound 250. Say micro, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 and Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. Ryan Eagles off. I'm Jason Minix. Joe will be back tomorrow. He just had a nice long weekend in St. Louis. Tomorrow, the Blitz live at NAW, Northwest Automotive Warehouse. They're on Calabria Road. Come by and see us. Hang out. Save money on truck bed covers. I'm watching, just trying to keep up with some of the YouTube comments. A lot there. We do have a poll question up on the YouTube channel today. as we do most days. Should NBA awards be about games played or minutes played? Games winning by a landslide, 70-30. And I agree with that. But it became a discussion over the weekend when Wemby started doing math and questioning the minimum threshold for postseason awards.
If a guy plays 50 games, 35 minutes a game, that's 50 times 35, that's 1750, right? Am I right? Yeah. And if a guy plays 75 games at 20 minutes, it's 1,500. So, it's not. I mean, it's a good view in my opinion to not have a limit. It's one opinion. 75% of the games, in my opinion, would be a logical thing, and that would be 61.5 games, right? So 62 games.
Yeah, spot on.
By the way, your math on all of those was spot on. Of course, the alien gets it.
So,
I mean, it's impressive. And granted, he was right. I saw a video where somebody put the calculator to it. Wemby's incredible. I don't know how much thought he had into that going into it, if he already kind of knew those numbers or not. But it's Wemby. But it creates a bit of debate. Will the 65-game rule change at all? I think they might look at tweaking it. But it's more about games played than it is minutes played. Because Adam Silver wants star players playing more games. And even by Wemby's math, how many of us can show up to work 75% of the time? Right now, the 65-game rule is just a hair under 80%. So when you look at the idea behind the 65-game rule, the billions of dollars that the NBA is getting from their TV partners, they want to see star players. And they might tell you that, you spend a couple $100 for a ticket to go to the game. You do that, you want to see star players. But it's about those TV contracts more so than anything else, because that's what's driving the revenue in the NBA. So when you look at 50 games but a lot of minutes, that doesn't solve the problem for Adam Silver. When you look at the games missed by star players on national TV games, the number's kind of alarming. But could there be some sort of tweak to it to where it's 65 games, and we're talking about the minimum? The minimum is 65 games out of 82. But when you look at, could they tweak it? Wemby, real injuries. Cade Cunningham, real injuries. Luka, the one I have the problem with this year, he missed it by one game, but he was also suspended for one game because of technical fouls. But do they come up with a 65-game minimum or a 62, 60, and you have so many minutes? Maybe. Because what's nuts is Wemby only played 1,800 minutes this year, 1,866. Luka played 2,289. Cade Cunningham, 2,172. Devin Booker, 2,146 minutes. Anthony Edwards, 2,137 minutes. They're not eligible for postseason awards because of the game played rule. I'm not sure how the NBA will tank it. There's always going to be somebody on the wrong side of that line and bitch. And that's understandable. But this year it feels like there's a lot of guys on the wrong side of that line. I used to kind of think that I didn't like the money tied to it. because it's a lot more than just getting Defensive Player of the Year or being named All-NBA. Because I saw Tyrese Halliburton was on with McAfee today, and he was one of the first that were affected by it a couple years ago when this thing got put in. Cost him about $40 million. Like, damn. It's a lot. But if Adam Silver's goal is to get you to play in more games, then go earn that extra $40 million by showing up to work. But when you have real injuries, that's the hard part. So maybe on the max, supermax, there can be an exception that the team can make. Yep, we're going to pay you that anyway because of your injuries, and you get a waiver for that. You don't necessarily get a waiver to win a trophy, but you do get a contract waiver if you are dealing with real injuries. Maybe. I do. You listen to Adam Silver's comments, he's happy with the 65-game rule. But there's enough people affected by it that there's going to be enough bitching and complaining that I could see some sort of tweak where there's going to be a lower number plus a minutes average or a minimum amount of minutes that could get you qualified. So you don't have things like you had this week where Wemby got hurt in a game and then came back into that game and played enough to qualify. And you cannot tell me, even though the Spurs have not said this and Wemby has not said this, but I truly believe that Wemby only went back into that game after he bruised his ribs was to play enough to get qualified. And instead of being shut down for the rest of the regular season like he would have been seemingly any other year, he played in a game Friday night to qualify. And for Wemby, not just a trophy, but for the Supermax eligibility and the trophy, because they're important to him. But how much of that should be a part of the conversation for these teams that are seemingly doing everything under their power to make sure their star players are fully functional when it matters most, and that's the playoffs. That's where load management began with Greg Popovich. And it's not the guys like Wemby or a Luka or a Cade Cunningham that you've never questioned. The rule went into effect for guys like Kawhi Leonard and Joel Embiid and Anthony Davis. But when you have all these guys missing games, star players missing nationally televised games, Adam Silver had to do something. And from that, I like the rule. Do I want it to change? Do I expect it to change? Watching our guy kind of go through it. And again, 65 out of 82, is that asking too much? I also want to believe that most of the voters have an integrity level to where if a guy only played 50, you wouldn't vote for that dude anyway for MVP or Defensive Player of the Year. You look at a LeBron James, played damn near 2,000 minutes this year, 1973, 1,973 minutes. But he didn't play in 65 games. He's ineligible to make an All-NBA team. Would he have made it? He's LeBron. In the way he's playing, accepting a new role on his team, he probably does. But he's not eligible. It is interesting. It'd be fascinating to see in the offseason how the NBA addresses this. Although their bigger problem to fix in the offseason is the draft lottery and the tanking this year. And this year, kind of like the 65-game rule, seems to be magnified more because so many more people are affected by it than in past. But what did we end up with? 8 teams finishing with more than 55 losses. 8. The race for the bottom this year was huge. Big reason for that? The obvious. This is a really deep draft, so more and more teams are trying to get into the lottery to try to get one of these generational type players. A lot of people say, all right, well, let's do away with the lottery. I'm one of those, right? Let's even things out. The problem there is Mark Cuban wrote on Twitter, in a flat odds environment, teams have incentives to stay under the cap and accumulate as many first-round picks as possible. All have equal odds to get a top pick. So they're all lottery tickets. The more you accumulate, the better you are. In a flat odds world, teams don't have to lose games. It's just going to be easier because they'll trade away their best players. They won't sign guys to bigger contracts, so they'll have cheaper contracts equaling worse players that will help them stay under the cap and help teams get back under all the aprons and taxes. If they sign a good one, but they're not great, then they could trade them for more of those picks or lottery tickets, making them worse again. So what Mark Cuban is saying is teams will find a different way to tank. Now, I hadn't thought about that in that way, but you know what? Mark Cuban is right. So I'll go back to something that Reinagel and I talked about weeks ago. You can only be in the lottery or have a top 4, top 5 pick once every 3 or 4 years. Maybe they do something that way. Because as Mark Cuban puts on Twitter, teams are going to find a different way to tank than what you're seeing now, and it's just going to be about the quality of teams that they put together. That is a bigger problem for the NBA to try to fix this offseason than the 65-game rule. Because the NBA, in a world right now with all their TV contracts and their game seeming to struggle ratings-wise, playoffs are going to be fine, I imagine. But how do you fix tanking? I mean, Mark Cuban throws out a scenario that most of us haven't thought about. Because all of us have said, well, there shouldn't be an advantage. Don't reward suckage. Well, if they're all equal, they're all kind of lottery picks, right? So you just don't sign expensive players. You don't sign good players, and if you have one, you trade them away to get more picks. A different way of tanking. And I think Mark Cuban is spot on there. These teams will find a way. You know, Windhorst said the other day on TV, a number 1 overall pick is worth about $100 million. So if you're a franchise, again, franchises tank, players don't. So you get fined $500,000, but you're trying to get something that's worth $100 million? That's worth the cost of doing business, is it not? You look at Oklahoma City, you look at San Antonio, being in the lottery for a couple years has changed the outlooks of both those franchises. So there's proof that it works. Detroit's in that boat too. So how does the NBA fix that problem? Fine teams for not being at the cap? I don't know. I don't know how Adam Silver tackles that. Unless you cap the number of picks a team can accumulate. Which, again, are any of us smart enough to get in the room and try to figure that out? How many picks can you have? How many years can you have low salaries? I mean, we see it in baseball all the time, and people don't bitch about it. You look at different teams' payrolls. I mean, you get what the Mets and Dodgers are playing tonight, the 2 most expensive rosters in baseball, and then you get other teams that their entire payroll is equal to one of those dudes' salaries. That's the problem that the NBA needs to fix after we get through what should be a really fun postseason, and it will be a fun postseason for us here in San Antonio because we're in it for the first time in a long time. And I can't wait. I can't wait. And you look at the postseason awards, Wemby qualified. He'll win Defensive Player of the Year. MVP is going to be the interesting one. I think SGA wins MVP. Kevin O'Connor on Yahoo today. If you want some light reading later, your homework tonight, read Keldon Johnson's Players Tribune post, because it's fantastic. And Kevin O'Connor, who he's Yahoo's national NBA guy. Beyond the box score in detailing Wemby's incredible season, man, he does lay out a great case. And I'm curious for some of the voters that have not voted yet, if they read this and change their opinion. Because, my goodness, Kevin O'Connor writes out a great piece on that. The Blitz tomorrow live at Northwest Automotive Warehouse. They're on Calabria Road. They've got great sales going on. Specials. It's Fiesta time. We'll be out there. SeaWorld tickets, T-shirts, pens.
Koozies. Keychain bottle openers.
Yeah, all that good stuff. Pledge is proud of those bottle openers. He's got like 9 of them on his keychain. Looks like the janitor, the guy walking around with all the keys, except it's bottle openers.
Never know when you got to open a beer.
Well, I mean, you were that way the other night at the bar. They come open and you were disappointed. Rob, with his temporary crown, which is perfect for Fiesta time. And AJ, tomorrow morning on the Morning Huddle. Ryan Eagles back tomorrow. The Blitz starting at 2. Live at Northwest Automotive Warehouse there on Calabria Road. Extra innings with Pledge coming up next.
Riding home with the Blitz.